This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Please note that any comments, jokes, questions, maybe, anything that we say on the History of Bad Ideas is all in good fun. And remember, we insult everybody. Our thoughts, opinions, questions, anything else, actions that we do on the show do not reflect any of our employers, organizations, advertisers, or anyone else that is associated with the History of Bad Ideas. And remember, at the end of the day, it's just a joke.
It's about comic books and movies, growing up with Rokusuki. Superman before Zack Snyder ruined him. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, while Christian Bale was just deadpan. No one remembers the other ones. Princess Leia in bikinis and Transformer Lamborghinis. Please don't let Shia LaBeouf ever act again. Please, God, no. Remembering Tales from the Crypt, back when Michael Bay wrote good scripts. He wrote the all right here is no mystery, 'cause it's the history of bad. It's bad. It's the history of bad. So bad. It's the history of bad ideas. It's the history of bad. It's bad. It's the history of bad. So bad. It's the history of bad ideas. Podcast.
Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas, episode number 275. Look at that, 275.
That's a number.
Yes, I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
Blake.
I'm Jim.
Hey, we're all back again.
Hey, the gang's all here.
Woo! Just want to let everybody know, if you did not hear our Marvel Cinematic Universe rankings,
Marvel.
we used our listener list and our list from Hobie. And
Last episode.
yes, we had a sophisticated scoring system. And we were able to rank all 21.
Sophisticated, spelled with an F.
Yes. we are the professional amateurs. So, yes, go ahead and listen to that one. We appreciate everybody that did that. And there's a brand new episode. So, anything going on over there, Jeff?
This is a brand new episode.
It is.
Holy
I think
moly.
every time we record, it's a brand new episode.
A little bit out of sorts, I'll be honest. I'm running on fumes. Work's been a little rough, so I'm running on fumes with sleep.
Actually, I thought this episode was a reboot.
Yeah. Can we just
called a
just
tease.
go ahead and just air an old episode, and we can just get out of here and hit the bar?
Let's go.
Change approved. Hi, welcome to episode 13.
This is Jurassic Park with Pirates of the Caribbean in the land, and don't ask, we had really bad titles. And then iTunes said, "What are you doing?" Nothing to see here.
No, I think we said, what are we doing?
Why are we trying that hard for the titles? Anyways, so this is episode 13, 0.275. And anything going on down there, Jeff?
Oh, let's see. No.
Okay. Well, you're having a better week than the Reds.
Yeah, except because the Reds are having a bad week, neither am I.
Jim, I see your shirt is Ask Me How I Who Day.
Yes, I hooday by rooting for Bengals to get kicked off the team for committing domestic violence and tasing and getting tased by cops.
In his defense, he did play 1 year for them.
And he's gone.
You're talking about the running back who has had like 6 domestic abuse issues in like 2 months.
Mark Walton's been arrested 3 times this year.
Yeah. This year?
This year.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
2019.
in 2019.
Or
Or
within the
twice
past
in
12. At least twice in 2019.
Well, he's got goals.
Yes.
Maybe that was his New Year's resolution.
Could have been. I want to say the Reds are... They're going to get hot now because they're playing the shitty Derek Jeter Marlins.
Yeah, down with the Marlins.
They're up 4-0 as we speak.
Marlins or the Reds?
Reds are up.
Oh, okay.
So anybody who's going to listen to this tomorrow will find out actually before we air on how they did.
Did Puig,
Puig is serving his suspension.
Puig.
how many do you get? 3 games?
He got 2 games.
For trying to take on the whole Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yes.
Well, he's trying to get to Chris Archer.
And I'll be honest, I think he probably could have taken out the whole Pittsburgh Pirates.
I love the fire in that guy.
And you know what the best part is today?
Yeah.
He was at elementary school.
Yeah.
That was yesterday.
Oh, was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's
Yesterday
still,
was a day off, so
yeah. Well, today's a day off for him, too.
yeah, and David Bell.
Yes. If you didn't notice, basically one of the Reds, Dirk Dietrich, he had a home
Derek?
run. He had a home run on Sunday, and then the Pirates,
2
because
home runs.
they're pussies.
Well, the
His
first
sec-
the
yeah.
first home run he hit, he destroyed it. It was 440 some feet.
Into the river.
It bounced into
Into
the river.
The
in
Monongahela.
PNC Ballpark in Pittsburgh.
And
Or
he watched it
The Allegheny.
standing there at home plate until it left the stadium, and then jogged to first.
Yeah.
So then the next time the Pirates pitcher, Chris Archer, he threw behind Dirk Dietrich, and Dietrich did not like that.
Well, Dietrich just kind of glared at him.
Yeah.
The home plate official came out and warned both teams that there won't be any hitting or anything.
Throwing at each
There
other.
won't be none of that.
None of that fool's hardy.
And Bell took exception to that because the Reds didn't do anything.
We didn't have a chance to respond by throwing behind their
which I
guys
agree
yet.
with.
And the Reds were on a
What-
7-game losing streak at that point in
Well,
time?
yeah.
You had to
Yeah.
do something to stir them up.
I have no issue with that.
And again, my issue with the entire thing is one that the Pittsburgh Pirates on Twitter released a "Let the kids play." This year's baseball's catchphrase is "Let the kids play."
Catch
Catch
fries.
fries.
Catch fries.
I reckon.
So, and then they're talking about let them celebrate a little bit, and they show Archer, who celebrates and dances after each strikeout and off the mound at the end of innings. I mean, he's really animated, and so let him play. So then, when Dietrich celebrates his home run by just standing there and watching it, Archer takes exception to that, even though he dances when he strikes people out. So then then he comes up and he doesn't hit Dietrich. He warns him by throwing behind him. Mm-hmm. So he's not He's not threatening this guy's career.
Yes.
It's just hey, I can do this if I want. And I don't think anybody should have got kicked out. I don't think anybody should have been suspended.
But then, bench is cleared.
And then Puig decided to take on the entire.
And the best is Tucker Barnhart holding his leg.
Again, Votto and Melky Cabrera from Pittsburgh were doing a pretty good job
I think
holding.
Melky was translating into Spanish. No se puede. No pégalo.
And then when they thought they had it broken up, they let Puig go, and then he ran around them. And then Barnhart tried to play offensive line, and he thought he had his hands and feet in good position, but then Puig did a swim move and got around him.
It literally looks like a 1400s French painting
Yeah.
of him charging the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tucker Barnhart holding onto the leg. They actually made it into. They put a picture frame around it and put it on a T-shirt.
Well, did it look as bad as was it Jeff Van Gundy holding onto the guy's leg?
Oh,
in the
God.
Basketball.
It looked a lot like
fight?
that, yes.
Jeff Van Gundy is one ugly man. He is not an attractive man.
Are you thinking of Stan Van Gundy?
Maybe that too.
No.
Jeff Van Gundy's not very
Jeff Van
attractive.
Gundy's not
either.
very attractive
He
either.
looks like a
okay.
giant peanut.
Yes. Stan Van Gundy is like chunky. Jeff.
Stan Van Gundy looks like somebody that's passing out those flyers back on New York Times or New York Square, Central Park. What is that? New York Times Square?
Times Square.
Yes, Times Square back in the 70s for the peep shows.
Oh,
That's what Stan Van Gundy looked like.
hey, come on in and join our show.
I'll show
The
you how to
girls are hot.
They'll show you how to dribble if you know what I mean. Ha ha ha. Here's a triple double.
And the whole thing is I think, Derek Dietrich probably could have got away with it if he didn't break out that camping chair and sat down in the batter's box and watched the ball. Watch the ball land.
Hey,
That might it might have been antagonizing a little bit.
To his credit, he had one of those pants chairs where the chair's built into the pants. So all he has to do is kind of lean a certain way and the seat pops out.
Yeah.
He didn't try it.
Oh, he tried it, but he didn't carry up a chair. It was built in.
You know, it was bad when Jose Bautista on Twitter said, it's a little extreme. I was kidding. Jose Bautista did.
Oh, I must have. Did Batista really say that?
no. Jose Bautista, the biggest asshole in sports, unless he's on your team.
That's right.
Well, the other thing is Tucker Barnhart then tweeted out last night Joe Thomas and asked him for advice on how to get better form to try and finish that block better.
If he did such a great swim move, maybe the Bengals should sign him up for defensive
I
end.
heard that. They're like, and Puig has just been signed as a linebacker.
We need one.
The Cleveland indigenous peoples have won 5 games in a row now.
Good for them.
That's your This Week in Baseball.
Welcome to Hobie Talk.
Yeah. Thanks for all you people who like our geek talk.
We're done.
We'll start with sports.
Oh, I got more sports.
Nope. Blake, Preacher was announced today.
Season 4.
Is the final season.
Correct.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it, too.
It has not lived up to my expectations.
First season did, didn't it?
First season
was
did.
good.
Second season was a downer. Third season was good.
It was yeah.
So maybe the fourth season, now that they have
I'll
a
finish it
definite,
up,
they
but-
have a definite ending.
So they need to end it so it doesn't just keep going on and on and
Yeah.
on like The Walking Dead.
I
I watched the last episode.
did you
Or
like The Walking Dead?
Season this year?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've talked about it.
Way
In-
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've talked about it more than the writers.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. It's true.
It's true.
Yeah, I thought of you there with Preacher.
It's okay.
Other news,
Walking
though,
Dead.
that Jeff will be happy about.
Yay! Oh, wait, what's his?
They're making a Grease prequel.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that.
How the hell are you going to
Go
make
Grease
a Grease?
Lightning. Go.
I
prequel?
suppose it's the summer where Danny and Sandy hang out at the beach.
They're racing stagecoaches
Oh, they're going back.
into the western. Paint my wagon. Isn't that the Clint Eastwood one? Paint
That's
my
the
wagon.
name of it, but that's not the tune.
Go paint my wagon red. Oh,
Stop
I'll
singing.
paint my wagon
Stop singing.
red. Get off my lawn.
Jeff, turn off his mic.
I do have that power.
It's not unusual. Hey, we got rid of those mics.
'Cause we know how good when they do make stuff where they go back to the Wild West, how good it is. Like the
Wild-
damn.
Wild Wild West.
No, like
Back to the Future
Don't
3.
you shut your whore mouth. Back to the Future 3 is amazing.
No.
No.
I'm glad this
no.
lamp is blocking me looking at you.
No,
It is better than the second one.
they're both awful.
I like seeing Jeff's brain work on that
Yeah,
one.
I think the second one might be slightly better than the third one.
I don't know about that.
The only good thing, or the only time you can jump back into the Wild West or it can be any good is like if it's on Quantum Leap or something.
yeah.
Ooh, tease. That's a tease. That's a tease. Blake, anything go on with you?
A lot.
You caught up on some movies?
Yes, I did.
I didn't get to talk about the movie I watched.
Well, hold on. We'll get to
I
you.
I want to hear about. I want to hear about that one too. I
Paint my wagon.
got. The past week I was in a secret government agency for the Democratic Party trying to get Joe Biden to stop groping people. It worked until we put a little boy in front of him.
Oh.
Really? Really? Come on. It's not like he's Kevin Spacey or something. Hey, guys,
What's going on?
Really, Jeff? Come on.
Hey, I heard Kevin Spacey's going to throw his hat in the ring for the Democratic National
That's not the only thing we'll throw in the ring.
Party nomination.
I became Peter Griffin.
No.
Well, just a laugh.
No.
Matt Kemp just hit a home run.
Yay! Welcome to Hobie Talk.
9-0.
Whoa! That was a 5-run home run.
Peraza singled in 2.
Oh.
Then Votto got hit by a pitch, and then Kemp home.
For everybody outside of Cincinnati, you're welcome. We're very excited.
And of course, this is all very old news by the time anybody's
Yes.
hearing this.
So anyway, so what movies did you see?
I saw Captain Marvel last week.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I found it to be enjoyable. Yes, I did. I liked it. Great soundtrack. I don't know
Yep.
why.
Yes.
I downloaded the soundtrack. The soundtrack it's pretty damn good.
Legally?
Yes, legal. I got on Napster.
He got it. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He got it on Napster. I did find it enjoyable. It was pretty good. I liked it.
What did you think of Agent Coulson?
Okay.
I mean,
It looks a little CGI-ish.
It was a little creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that one worse, or who's the bad guy from Rogue Squadron? What's
Rogue One?
Rogue One.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, which one looked worse?
Grand Moff Tarkin.
See, I think Coulson looked worse.
Really?
Princess Leia.
Yeah,
Well,
Princess Leia did not look good in
yeah.
that. I actually didn't think Grand Moff Tarkin looked that bad.
It was okay.
Peter
didn't-
Cushing?
Yes.
Yes.
Not in the
Peter
originals.
Cushing. Yes.
No, when I first saw it, I went, "Damn!" And then I had to look at it before I realized, oh yeah, there's something off.
Okay.
But I couldn't really tell what was off, so I didn't have too big of a problem with
It might have been
any
because
of them.
I think I was with you. I think I was kind of surprised by that he was in there.
Because he was a real person who was actually dead.
Yeah, and they
Yes.
digitally put him in, like they're going to do with Leia.
Yeah, it wasn't like they just de-aged them like
Samuel
Princess
Jackson
Leia
and
the
Suarez,
Disneys.
Suarez Homer 10-0.
didn't they do that with X-Men Last Stand too, with Patrick Stewart?
Oh yeah, those look pretty bad.
Those
Patrick
did look
Stewart
bad.
and Ian McKellen.
yeah.
That.
And that was actually not the worst thing wrong with that movie.
Oh no, there was a lot more worse than that. But and you know, you start off bad. They're improving every time they do it. So
They are.
I mean,
I mean, I don't.
it would
mock
look
that-
better these days than it did when they made it.
I mean, I don't mock that they're trying and it is getting better. It's just it did look off. Coulson did. Samuel L. Jackson didn't look
But
bad.
you know, there are some good jokes. There are some good jokes in it that I found pretty timely and tasteful.
I can't believe they destroyed a blockbuster like that.
Yeah.
the
Well,
only blockbuster left
here's-
in real life.
Well, here is my one question though. So she goes to C-53, planet C-53, which is our planet, which I did find pretty funny
Spoiler.
with her team. Was sorry if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, spoiler from the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, so you know one of her teammates there with the Krills, right?
Yeah.
The Crips, and they're looking for the Bloods.
Kree.
I mean, yeah, and so they're like, "Hey, have you ever been to C-53?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a real shithole." I'm like, "Hey, but she ends up on Earth in 1995, which is why I had a good soundtrack, and she like just walks around and like she immediately knows what a telephone is. She immediately knows that she like takes all the wires out and is able to, goofy
Did
organize.
she know it was a telephone, or did she think it was just a communications device?
Well, I don't know. I mean, how is she supposed to know if she's supposedly her mind's been erased of Earth? How does she know what a telephone
It's not
is?
that it's been erased. I mean, maybe it's subconscious. I mean, she's been there before and she used all this stuff
Could
before.
be.
Or maybe
But-
maybe she learned that these primitive cultures have different devices, and they learned how to adapt them to, because she used the telephone to reach.
So other cultures and throughout the universe have developed payphones like us
Probably.
and Radio Shacks.
Yep. I think Radio Shack is a constant throughout the galaxy.
Not anymore.
Well,
It was.
every civilization had a Radio Shack.
It's really big on Planet X.
all those other civilizations, all those Radio Shacks have become vape shops now.
Oh, there you go.
evolution.
Evolution. That's what
Is that really evolution?
That's evolution. From Radio Shacks to vape
You can't
Shack.
smoke cigarettes, but hey, here's some plastic.
Yeah, here's a little thing with some liquid in it that's going to give you nicotine worth about 8 packs of cigarettes in this thing about the size of a dime.
Yeah.
Oh, you just finished it in like 4 puffs? Oh, good for you.
Awesome. All right, so I do kind of like the twist there. When she was on the Crips and the Bloods were the bad guys, and it turns out the Bloods were actually the good guys and the Crips were the
Shebler
bad.
homered.
Are you kidding me? Okay. It's infuriating. They got shut out 4 times already this year. And now they're taking it all out. I feel bad for the Marlins now because they're taking out all their bad hitting all out on one
Dietrich
team.
struck out swinging.
Damn Dirk Dietrich.
Dirk Diggler? What?
Yes. We had Captain Marvel was ranked 11th or 10th, 11th, I think it was, in our 20
In
top
the
20.
mid-range.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty. It was a good film. It was fun, but I don't think it was revolutionary. I don't think it was something. I mean, I think you'll watch it on TV. It's a fun movie, but I don't think it's you go out of your way at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I had it limited in mind because I only saw it once.
Yeah. Everything else you've seen twice.
Oh, I thought I did. Then I saw Ant-Man again on Sunday, and I'm like, my God, I don't know if I saw this. The first one? The first one. I'm like, I know I did. I remember something, but I'm like,
You hated the second one.
the second one was,
I like the second one better than the first one. But so, what else did you see?
I finally got around to Avengers: Infinity War.
Oh, well.
You saw it?
Correct.
Did you see it before Captain Marvel?
No, I saw Captain Marvel first.
Okay.
And then I saw Avenger Infinity War. It was actually last night.
Did you like it?
Well, the way it starts, I was like, maybe I should have watched that other Thor Avenger movie.
Why is Thor going around space?
Hey, you know what? I think Thanos is he's a misunderstood guy. I mean, all he was trying to do was bring balance to the universe.
He's not
And he was working hard at it, too.
he's not a villain.
He had a
in-
great
in-
work ethic.
In his mind.
Yeah.
You know?
And those are the best villains.
But we'll wait and see if he actually is a villain or not on how much and what he uses the gauntlet for.
But I thought the
next film.
gauntlet crumpled when he did the snap of the finger.
It did
Yeah.
crumble. And
Well, it didn't crumble. It wrinkled
Yeah.
severely, I guess. is the
But
best you could
again,
say.
there's pictures of it in the new one, so they assume that he had another one made. But he still,
Damn it, Tyrion.
He still possesses all the stones.
I got
Yeah.
that joke.
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage.
I got that reference.
He plays a giant.
Did anybody
Brilliant.
see the full scene that Marvel released
Which
Which
one?
one?
of
The new movie?
of Endgame?
No.
It's a scene where they're talking to it's a scene where they're in the Avengers headquarters, and at the end of the scene is when Thor puts his hand up and gets the
Oh, yeah,
the
Captain
axe,
Marvel
and
there?
we're standing right there. He's like, I like this one, but it starts out with Black Widow saying, like, "Oh, he used the stones again," and like, we need to go stop him. And they're like, "Oh no!"
So he's using stones.
and they're like, "What is it?" And like, is it going to same thing that happens like did last time, or is it going to be outcome any different? Like, well, we have to honor the people who have already fallen and try and do this for them. And they go, well, what's going to be different? And then Captain Marvel's like, "I'm here."
Oh.
And then War Machine's kind of like, "Well, where were you before? Why weren't you here?" She goes, "There are so many other planets in this universe that, and they weren't lucky enough to have you guys."
Well, you know, she made it her mission to go and
Save
when
people.
she turned on the Crips to go take out the Crips.
You know what? I would like to see the Crips in the next one. Yeah, I like to see that one.
But but seriously, because I was sold the bag of goods that the Kree with the Krills,
Kree.
Kree were the bad guys, and it turns out they weren't.
No, Skrulls. Skrulls
the
are the
Skrulls.
bad.
I'm sorry, the Skrulls, Crips, Bloods,
Yeah,
Krees,
you said that the
Krills.
Skrulls were the bad guys, and it turns out no, it was actually
In the
the
books,
Kree.
they are.
Yeah.
Well, in the books, the Kree aren't really that good either.
No, they're not.
No.
So
the Kree are better than the Skrulls because the Kree haven't really attacked Earth where the Skrulls do in the books.
It's kind of like, giant douche or,
The
turd
Kree
sandwich.
just
Which one do you pick?
turned Earth into their own genetic playground.
Correct.
Yeah. So I do know that was different from the books, and they put that twist in the movies. And I was like, oh, okay. Because
What twist?
The road,
Ah,
yeah,
Let's
that
do
one.
the twist.
The
I can
prequel
sing.
to Grease. No, but seriously, so with that was actually kind of pretty cool. I did like that twist on the whole plot, But the Infinity. All right, so I do have a question since I haven't seen all these in succession as you guys have. Who's the Red Skull face guy with no nose?
Red Skull.
The Red Skull.
Yeah, I know the Red Skull guy
He was
with
in
no
Captain
nose.
America, the first Avenger,
he was a Nazi that started Hydra.
and he got transported when he had the Infinity Stone thing.
Tesseract.
Yeah, the guy with the Red Skull face.
Yes.
What's his name?
Hugo Weaving.
Thank you.
Red Skull. It wasn't Hugo Weaving.
Not in the
wasn't-
second
yeah,
one.
no.
Not in the second one.
No, not in Endgame.
All
Or
right,
not,
so
not in
here's-
Avengers. This most recent one.
No, I know. In the
Yeah.
first one, he was.
Yeah.
First
Yeah,
Avenger.
Lots of action. Enjoyed it. The plot moved quickly and at a good pace. Didn't have to do too much thinking other than trying to figure out the Red Skull guy with no nose. What's his name?
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
And here's the only thing that really bothers me is that how many times they're like, "Tell me where the stone is, or I'm going to kill this guy." No. Okay, there it is. I'm like, why do they keep giving the stones up? I don't understand. I mean, if this is life or death for 50% of the universe, so they really wanted Thanos to bring balance to the
And yeah,
universe. Is
and-
that how it works?
I'm going to kill Nebula. Okay. Have a good day. Sorry.
Is it
I'm
you kill
sorry.
Nebula or trillions of
People.
species
Yeah,
across
we're
the
fine.
universe?
Well, Nebula will save. What?
But see, there's a difference between hypothetically killing a bunch of people and torturing someone in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. And when unless you're put in that situation, you don't really never know how you act. But if this is like the end of existence, or or the secret dies with me,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Everybody was so quick to give the stones up.
Doctor Strange did it because that's how they beat him. He saw the one up. He saw the
now
one.
at the end game.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what the next movie is?
Endgame.
Holy shit!
Oh, is it?
I really like that meme that was on going around the internet. Is this one of the ways that Doctor Strange saw that they can beat Thanos? And it was Ant-Man, real small, flies into Thanos' ass and then expands.
I saw that and it was enjoyable. Now every fucking thing on Facebook is that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
it's not happening. I will say, I think he does go into his ear, though, and like fuck him up in the ear.
Fuck his ear. You think that's so much better?
No, he's going to mess around with his
Is he in
hearing.
Family
brain.
Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Endgame. So
I do like how it ended. And Thanos can finally rest. He goes sits on his throne and watches the
still say it would
sunset.
be better
It
if
wasn't
that,
even his throne; it was his front porch.
or front porch. That's
So
a
he
pretty
became-
good front porch.
yeah,
he became Clint Eastwood. Everyone get off my lawn. I'm done.
Only half of you get off my lawn.
half of you get
Half
off
of
my
you.
universe.
Off my lawn.
I did like, it was funny because my biggest gripe in Spider-Man is that he always takes his mask off. So when my daughter was walking into the room when I was watching Avengers Infinity War, and he took his mask off when he's on the spaceship, going up, and even my daughter at 5 years old goes, "Put your mask back on." I was like, I taught her well. Good job.
Well, he's got to breathe.
No, it's bullshit. Because she's a big fan of Spider-Verse, Into Spider-Verse, and he takes his mask off, Miles does, and every time she's like, "Put your mask back on," I was like, that's my girl.
Yeah, but
So you're ruining your girl for like.
he's
life
allowed
by
to
teaching her
take his
these things.
mask off when he's hanging out with people who know him
Yes.
and are on his team.
Yeah. And you
That's
ever-
different than taking off
When
in the
he's
middle of
hanging out
battle.
in a building, though, stop taking your fucking mask off.
Yeah,
But he has to make out with people.
dude.
Or Toby Maguire taking
Well,
his
you
mask
just,
off
you
on
just have
Subway.
to lift it over your mouth for that point. Kind of like he just drops his paint. Never mind.
It's really
Do you ever try to breathe
Keep
through
your
a bali-
merkin on.
Yeah, ever try to breathe through a balaclava or anything like that? It's
Oh, yeah, all the
pretty tough.
time. All the time. All the time. That's a fun time.
Isn't that part of your spider powers, though? You can breathe through cloth easier.
Permeate. I don't know. Breathe through all of his skin.
You can't make your own webbing, but you can breathe through it. That makes it easier.
There you go.
Jim, what did you see?
Jeff and I went out and saw Shazam.
Thanks for inviting me. How
did.
Awesome.
You didn't answer.
No, I did. No, you didn't.
We said, Jason, do you want to go?
And you
No
didn't
answer. It's not my fault you didn't hear me.
He's still not answering.
Thanks for those Bob Newhart jokes. Anyways, so how was it?
It was
It
enjoyable.
was pretty good. It was better than I was expecting.
Okay.
Were
I
all the
went-
good parts not in the trailers?
Yeah.
No, actually, I thought the stuff they didn't show was better than the stuff they did show.
Okay.
All right, good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and again, I didn't have real high expectations of it because it's a DC film. Mm-hmm. But
DC film?
yes,
I thought you said PC film.
DC.
Oh.
Zach Levi was actually pretty good, and his suit is not stuffed. He's actually a large human being now.
Good. Was it better than Wonder Woman?
I wouldn't say
It's
better than Wonder Woman.
different.
Different.
Okay.
More,
I mean,
more
yeah,
humor.
it was going for the humor and taking that approach. So
Did you like it better than Aquaman?
Probably.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
close. I mean, it's different.
I
Too.
think I'd put it ahead of Aquaman. But
Okay. I watched everything that's wrong with Aquaman
I saw that too.
on Cinnamon Sins, and the more I watch it, I was like, yeah, it wasn't that great. I mean, it was okay, but so Shazam, I heard it's a good family film.
Well, it's about a family.
Yeah.
I mean, it
I mean, yeah, I would say for at least older. I mean, it's PG-13, so take that for what it's worth. But I definitely think if you feel your children can handle, I mean, there's no, overtly disgusting sexual encounter.
Oh, I hope not. It's
Yeah,
a family.
Yeah, there's no sex. There's really not much gore. There's not really any big gore.
Yeah, there's no real gore. There's
How-
comic book fighting, as you
How's
call
the
it.
villain?
He doesn't use the shocker.
No, he doesn't. He might threaten it once or twice, but no.
How's the villain?
I like pretty good. Yeah,
Was it better than a typical origin film villain like that was on there for 5 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, so they actually just the opening scene was the
The
villain
villain.
Okay.
on why he was there and what he was doing. So
Was
Okay.
it the old man in the Winnebago?
It was not the apparently the mentor was his name in that show.
Yeah.
Yes, because I saw just an article that was talking about that show. I didn't realize he only went by mentor.
I did have
He couldn't
You
use
don't
his
want to
real
use his
name.
real name.
I did have one problem with the movie, and it was the credits. Oh, it's like IMDb in the credits. There was 5 people listed in IMDb as uncredited roles,
Really?
and their names were in the credits. Like,
Very obviously in the credits.
how can this be uncredited? They're in the credits.
By definition, they are credited.
It's in the title.
And then the guy Jim was looking for, he couldn't find.
Yeah, there was a guy.
There was a character, and Jim's like, "Who is that guy?"
I know that guy. I'm like, look, his voice is familiar. He's been in something else, and I go to look him up. He's nowhere to be found.
Not even listed as uncredited.
Yeah,
Nothing.
nothing.
Yet these 5 uncredited people were credited.
We're in the credits.
I was going to take my oldest son to see it, and we just ran out of time this weekend. We really want to see it, so
Yeah, I wanna
he's been
see
looking
it.
forward to
I want to
it.
see it too, and I'm glad you guys are giving it positive reviews. That gives me hope because my fear was all the good parts were in the trailer.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my biggest thing.
My fear was that all the good parts were in the trailers, and I didn't particularly care for the parts that were in the trailers.
But he
you go.
flosses.
He does.
He dances.
Oh, the dance. I thought you meant his teeth. I'm like, I don't remember that being a plot point.
Yeah, the
We're old.
yeah, pretty much most of the stuff from the trailers in this first part of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
When he
Good.
saves the bus, when he asks to get, can I have some of your finest beer, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah, first half.
I did like how they thought it was a joke, like, say my name. I don't even know your name. Shazam. He starts laughing. It's like, okay, that is pretty good. Because can't use Captain Marvel. Can't use it.
You see, now this is the problem I have with the whole you can't use Captain Marvel, so his name is Shazam. The power is when he says the word Shazam, he changes.
into Captain Marvel.
So he can't say his name or tell people who he is without changing immediately.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so who are you? Well, I'm Shazam. Now he's a little kid.
And his secret's out.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
Yeah.
And it was a good use of his power when he says Shazam and back and forth.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't going to mention it because that was probably the part that surprised me the most. Was as often as he did change and found clever ways of using that.
Oh, I thought it was obvious I'd do it too, but
That's pretty cool.
Because I had heard a complaint that somebody I think complained about he spent too long in as the superhero.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh,
if I could,
okay.
if I could go from a scrawny little kid and become a superhero, I'd spend a lot of time as a superhero.
Yeah, yeah, but he doesn't even know how to take off the outfit.
Okay, since Jason's gone, let's discuss what happened Sunday at WrestleMania.
A bunch of people fought, and more belts than I knew existed changed hands.
Yes, a lot of belts changed hands, and
Are those like made up belts?
They must be. Because there were like at least 7 of them that changed hands.
Well, I know there's like an intercontinental.
there's two.
I don't even know
there's
they
two
still have that?
There's an IC belt. There's 2 like heavyweight belts.
There's international.
Well, yeah, there's the
international.
Raw and the
Yeah, one's called international, one's a heavyweight. Then there's the IC, and then there's the women's
2 women's belts.
2 women's belts. Then there's the tag team.
Were they garters?
I don't know.
No, they were.
Oh wait, you can't call them belts, can you? WWE doesn't want you to call them belts. They when Jason gets back, we'll have to find out.
Oh no, I know what you're saying.
Why?
I saw a reference about that.
Like
they didn't want
apparently
you to
Vince
call
doesn't
it belts
like it
because it's boxing.
the titles, I
relation-
suppose.
yeah, titles
You don't want a
versus
belt,
belts.
even though it's physically you get a belt.
Yeah, why
You don't win the belt; you win the title.
Oh, you get a giant
Then
buckle.
why you give him a belt?
I don't know.
If you don't want to see a belt, then don't give him a trophy.
Oh, I agree, but
Give him a ribbon. Don't give him a fucking belt if you don't want him to get a fucking belt.
Give him a
Fuck you, Vince.
Give him
choir.
give him a ball cap with a pin.
Yeah, give him a little pin they can put in it. Give him a Letterman jacket.
I like it. They're fighting for a Letterman jacket.
Yeah, I
And when you lose, the next person gets it and gets to put the letter on their own coat.
Change approved.
There you go.
Okay, so that was the that's the WrestleMania wrap up.
Have you caught What We Do in the Dark?
Yes,
On
I saw
FX.
the first 2 episodes.
How was it?
I saw the first episode.
Okay.
I saw the original mockumentary
I still have yet to
that
see
it's
that.
based off of, which is really funny, by the way.
If the
like-
show is
yes.
based off of it, I would think it would be pretty good. The show makes me laugh. I find it funny.
Okay.
I do. I like it. I enjoy it.
It has that awkward humor to it that
Yes.
takes a little getting into. Kind of
Yeah.
like The Office did in its early episodes, where
Okay.
you're not sure if it's supposed to be funny or whatnot.
So you're saying I should give it a chance?
You
Yes.
should.
Okay.
If you get the chance to watch the original mockumentary, it's very funny as well, and it sets up kind of what they're doing, and you're like, oh, same style, same themes.
Where can I find that original mockumentary?
FX.
Okay.
Probably you can get it on demand, maybe.
I think.
Yeah, What We Do
I
in the
know it-
Shadows. I'm sorry, we're calling them dark.
Yeah, we're in
Oh,
the shadows.
Is
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows.
I think it was at least at one point on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Well, I
Oh, please, from the Turkish, night. Please don't impale me. No, that is silly. I'm not going to impale you. I'll impale everybody.
So I can go ahead and pull up the FX now or whatever the app is and probably watch it on that.
Oh, okay.
Here, I got some news today coming from Jeopardy. To pull it up, Jeopardy contestant sets single game cash winning record tonight.
Oh, well, spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say how much it was. I didn't say who it was. I just said watch out for that.
Yeah, but I mean, it hadn't even aired yet when when you got that. And
Yes, it had. It's been on now for like over an hour.
when did you get? You just got this?
I got it about 15 minutes ago.
Okay, because I saw something that says something about sets a long-standing record.
Okay, I got it.
I mean, I know who it is. It's the champion because the way he bets big
A lot,
and
yeah.
plays loose, and I like it. And he's a tough one to beat. I agree that, but knowing what the record is, that's pretty impressive to
Yes.
break that. Tomorrow, I will be taking the online Jeopardy test.
Oh, that was a pretty good segue, wasn't it?
Yes.
So everybody wish Jeff luck. And hopefully he actually, he probably will do great on the test.
I'll do great
again.
on the test. I might even get an interview and then be left in limbo again. So,
If everybody should send their stories that Jeff could say when he's on air.
oh, that's a good idea. I should.
Everybody send us your favorite stories that he could talk about when he's on air.
It doesn't even have to be.
Jeopardy interview answers.
Yeah.
Yes. So everybody just send me a good story. I don't even care if it's real or applies to somebody else other than me.
It's like you talk about, who's the biggest celebrity that you peed next to, and you can I was in the late '80s, early '90s. I was in Chicago and got done watching the Cubs game, and I just got to the bars, and I was between bars. I had to really pee real bad, so I went to this alley, and I'm just peeing. And I look over, and Harry Carey's in the alley peeing next to me. Yeah,
Or-
a story like that.
Or you can mix.
Did someone tell that story?
Yeah, somebody told me that story.
or you could take that story and mix it with my Michael Stipe story.
Yeah, no, I don't think some famous guy I think was hitting on me will necessarily go over.
If you're peeing in the alley.
I'm peeing in the alley next to
That's
Harry
right.
Carey while Michael Stipe's hitting on me.
Well, Michael Stipe's going, that's impressive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So send us your stories so Jeff can use them for his Jeopardy interview.
So it's called Awkward Pause.
Awkward pause. Oh, we do have a Twitter poll of the week.
Yes,
And this one is to decide what we were talking about tonight. We
were discussing what we think our top 5 should be this week, and we were coming up with ideas, but nothing really solid that stuck out. So Jason decided we'll throw it out as a poll and let you guys decide. So if you don't like our top 5 this week, you only have yourselves to blame.
So
That's why voting is important.
yes, always vote, even if it's uneducated, but always vote.
You could always choose for none of the above as well.
So our choices this week for top 5 whats. We have anti-heroes, we have spirit animals, we have superpowers that we want, and we have failed reboots. So tied for third place with 16% of the vote, anti-heroes and spirit animals. It's a little disappointing. I kind of wanted spirit animals.
I think we should revisit spirit animals in the future.
Yeah, so we can keep that on the
We're
back
supposed
burner.
to like pick our top 5 spirit animals.
That
Yes.
you could use as a spirit animal.
Like if you say you embody 5 different animals, what 5 animals would you use to describe yourself?
What would your Harry Potter Patronus
Well,
look like?
I could Hobie that and start off with one answer and say Chimera.
Chimera?
Chimera?
Or I could just be lazy and say Hydra, 5 heads.
Okay.
is-
Hydra, and Hydra.
No, that's just one answer. Hydra, 5 heads.
Well, yeah.
But it's just one
You're saying you
animal.
have 5 heads?
Oh, wait. Yeah, or just say Tiamat. Fuck it. That's even better.
Okay, then for second place was with 20% of the vote was Superpowers We Want. With 48% of the vote, the winner was failed reboots. So we will be talking failed reboots tonight. So
Yes.
if you don't like it, it's your fault.
So, yes, stay tuned to the end of the, I was going to say broadcast, but we're not technically broadcasting anywhere.
No.
What do you seen what's his name? Jermaine?
Dupree?
No, doing the interviews with Captain Picard. What's his name? The bald guy?
Yeah, Patrick
British
Stewart.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart with,
Some guy.
no, the guy, Jermaine,
Jermaine Jackson.
no, that does the interviews with the British guy. Jermaine.
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
that guy. Sorry.
You weren't even close.
Yeah.
I was way off. Samsonite.
Do you see that?
But I understand, why Jason would
That's
come
why
up. Jason
Jason's
knows
here.
exactly what you're talking
He knows
about.
exactly what I mean. Exactly.
Hey.
No, Ricky Gervais is with Patrick Stewart, and he's like, yes, I've made a new movie where I have superpowers, where I want to see the girl naked. So I just think it, and her clothes drop. Yeah, and then, well, that's it. And she puts them back on. Yeah, well, that's it. I've already seen her naked. You guys never seen that
No.
goofy interview? Oh, it's hilarious. Awesome.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't
Put
do
it on Hobie's Facebook page.
I did not do it justice. All right.
Did you get to the tour poll of the week?
Yes, we're just
Okay.
finishing that up.
No, actually, why don't you go ahead?
I think we'll get ready for some listener feedback. Farmer homered.
All right, 14-0 now, huh?
From In the Name of the King, Farmer?
No,
Oh, that was a good film.
as in the last guy on our roster.
Oh.
You know what that sound is? It's time
Paper.
for bomb listener feedback.
Who's it sponsored by?
Sponsored by UCLA's search for a men's basketball coach.
They didn't really get one.
I heard they got Mike Croman.
Yes, from UC. So they didn't get one.
No, they still don't have one.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, that's a-
But they reported in L.A. that Mike Croman got it.
Nope.
no.
But they did.
Yeah, and that other guy, and then that other guy.
Jermaine.
Yeah,
Jermaine
the
was up for
Jermaine
it.
guy.
I don't know who Mike Croman is, but
I don't know who Jermaine was either, but
Ricky Gervais is coaching UCLA?
We start off with this the future UCLA basketball men's coach,
Doug,
number one
Yeah.
fan.
Ape Hands.
7.
Can't give
formerly
himself a
known as.
nickname.
That's right. He says, "Is there really any true Brock Lesnar fans left?"
No.
Paul Heyman.
Were there ever truly any Brock Lesnar fans?
When he first entered in like 2003 and 2002, he was good. He was fun.
They all left by the time he got his chest tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah, when he came back and had his chest tattoo of a
Isn't
dagger.
his chest tattoo like just a major penis symbol on his
Pretty much,
on his
yeah.
chest?
Yeah.
That's what first thing I thought.
Best
when I
part was
saw
Seth Rollins beating him. Anyways, go ahead. You know, there is no true fans of Brock Lesnar because he's awful.
it. Yeah.
But
Well-
hey, great gig. 6 matches a year makes $12 million. Good for him.
I don't know. I heard that that the belt, the Raw belt, is going to someone who actually will appear on Raw now.
Seth Rollins, yes.
Is that belt or I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry,
is
title,
the title,
title.
the
Title
title that the belt buckle is on? Is that raw leather?
It is. It is.
I think
Okay.
it's treated leather. I think they lied.
But you know, Brock Lesnar did have the best ending to an interview. When he
Peace
said,
out?
"No, I'm now I'm going to go lay on top of my wife."
Oh yeah, at the UFC. Yeah.
That's all he was doing was laying. He was too tired to do
I was
anything
going to say, well,
else.
if she's a dainty woman, she's in a lot of trouble.
She is.
Well, I'm glad this year's WrestleMania didn't have a 13-year-old kid winning a belt.
Title.
Belt buckle.
Belt.
Buckle.
If Vince doesn't like it, Vince can change it. Just give him. Well, a Letterman jacket.
Hold on, I thought the Steve Austin was running WWE.
The $6 Million Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did fight Bigfoot this year at the at the WrestleMania.
Oh, I missed it.
He did. It was good. It was
How many
good.
hours was WrestleMania this year? 15? 15 hours?
Felt like
Started
it.
at 5 p.m. for the pre-show.
That doesn't count, though. as
Okay, fine. Start
WrestleMania.
at well. There's still matches.
Yeah, but it's the pre-show matches.
Okay, 7 p.m. until I think.
Did they have a pre-show for the pre-show?
Oh yeah, it started at 7 p.m. I think it was over at 12:30. I don't know. I fell asleep.
It's a lot of wrestling.
So 5.5
That's why I fell
hours
asleep.
without the pre-show.
7.5 hours
How-
with the pre-show.
How long was the original WrestleMania?
3 hours.
Why-
2.5.
why-
I think it was 2.5.
And you get a lot accomplished with major storylines.
You know
why
what?
would they need 6
I watch.
Well, they've got 7 belts. or
Titles.
more.
titles, buckles?
Hey, we've already talked about WrestleMania. Let's move on.
All right. Anyways, from Sean of the Pod says, please talk about why they should bring back Quantum Leap and any ideas you have on how to make a new one work. Storyline. Is this in regards to avoiding failed reboots?
I don't know. I don't know why we should bring back Quantum Leap.
It ended prematurely.
If we bring back Quantum Leap, why do anything different? It was a fun show.
The Sci-Fi tried to make one years ago. I talked about this before. That the daughter went
Yeah.
to get a search.
Someone's going to
Yeah.
search for
I have
him.
no problem with that.
Did he have a daughter?
In this, he did. In the reboot or
Oh,
in the
okay.
sequel, he did.
You know, he could have been leaving daughters all throughout time for all we know.
Oh,
That's not right.
Oh, wait,
no?
that's what the reboot should be. The wrong guy gets in the
And he just started populating. It's awesome.
and just goes around time getting his rocks off.
He's the anti-Thanos.
How
Congratulations, you have your own show. Did you help him? I know. I got my rocks off.
And
And,
it's not-
as soon as you come, you leave.
And it's not really your body, so you don't even have to worry about the STDs.
Oh, great. He's just giving STDs to everybody.
Oh no, but he's just not. You aren't going to contract them by getting.
No, I know.
people.
What would be better, the beginning of the show, like when he always VoIPs, and he's like in some peril, he's like, "Oh no, what am I going to happen?" Or it'd be like they show after Jason gets done banging the girl, and then he leaps out, and they go back to the guy, and he's like, "What the hell?
I don't remember any of this.
Why do I have a kid?
What's your name?"
Or no, after Jason leaps out, then Scott Bakula leaps in. He's chasing Jason throughout space time.
We got a good show here. He's got to clean up all the messes.
Well, that's streaks if you don't clean it up.
But it's good for the face and complexion. Not talking about. Oh, did you see that story I shared on Twitter?
I can't.
Which one was that?
No.
Do I have to
No.
ask?
The girl that
Oh,
uses.
wait a minute. I don't have Twitter.
The girl that uses
Her friends.
her friend's semen in her diet
Huh?
and like face cream. Like they.
Okay, I missed that story.
And it's a true blogger. Or not blogger, vlogger or whatever.
She's a blogger and she talks
Influencer.
and she talks about how she's like a trainer, a personal trainer, and how it's good for her and it's good for my.
I couldn't
diet.
even watch the video. I
And
couldn't.
The thing is, what they
Well,
said
it
she's
is
a.
pure protein.
It says she's a vegan.
That's why she.
She no,
Yeah,
she
that's
can't
what she
eat
means.
cum.
Yeah.
If she's a vegan because that's an animal byproduct.
It's man milk.
Yeah, it's an
Well,
animal.
we've hit a new low. I thought inserting semen into your back to cure things was a new low.
Oh no. into your arm to hurt heal your back.
My bad.
That's true. We have no leg to criticize.
Dear God,
But when
has
you talk
happened to
about
our
Rocks
show?
Off, that did remind me. I did rewatch the season 4 re-edit of Arrested Development before I get into season 5.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
No, it's good. The re-edited one I like
The
better.
re-edit is a hell of a lot better than the original season
I haven't
4.
seen it re-edited, but I enjoyed the original season.
Well, the re-edited actually takes place in. They edit to.
Well, it's
what-
chronological
they
more
edit
than
it.
just following one character
person,
each
yeah.
episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's a better job of telling the story.
I like watching it both ways. Watching it the first way and then watching it as a.
The thing I like though is when you saw something from like the first episode or something,
Oh, yeah.
then be referred to again in 8 episodes later
The
from a
ostrich.
different perspective.
Yeah.
So,
It's just a hot mess.
can we go back to semen for a second?
That's a hot mess.
So you were talking about, inserting the semen by the needle the guy did for his back injury. So this is
Yes.
a true story. The week that came out, one of my neighbors, he's like, "Hey, I heard you do a podcast." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he's like, "So what's it about?" I was like, "Well, we talk a lot of different topics and, kind of geek talk and, pretty much anything, pop culture." And he's like, "Oh, well, give me, I'm always looking for new podcasts. Tell me what your podcast is about this week." And I go, "Well,"
I wouldn't start with this week.
and I go, "Well, we have done 207 at that time, like 265, 270, whatever." I was like, "So we do have a lot of different topics." And he's like, "Well, give me one topic from this week." I said, "Well, a guy injects himself with semen to cure his back." And he looked at me and goes, "You talked 2 hours about that?" No, not 2 hours. It was about 10 minutes. It's okay.
I don't mean to take your thunder away, but you already told us the story.
All fair.
On air.
He told us on air?
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
I don't know.
I don't know. Now we got to go back and re-listen. That's not happening.
You know what, Jim?
Well, I don't know. Here, wait.
That was funny,
Here,
Jeff.
we'll find out. Dev, does that story sound familiar?
Please tell me. Not on. So, did you hear about Blake almost walking into a women's room?
A women's
Michael
locker room. That was a locker room.
Was
by
Michael
the way.
Stipe in there?
Oh my
Yeah, he
God!
was.
He could have done Michael Stipe if he wanted to. Anyways, what's going on?
so-
And in Quantum Leap, he would have.
So, Sean of the Pod, there's your storyline for the next Quantum Leap. Actually, we got plenty storylines.
Dear God.
This one's from intern Hackney. How did you feel about Becky / Charlotte / Ronda headlining the WrestleMania?
Yes.
I think it was great. If I
any-
saw
did
it
any
and didn't
tops-
fall asleep, I would have really loved it.
Did any tops
Stop
come
it.
off? Any
Stop
tops
it.
come off?
Do you say that when you
Patrick's-
watch women's soccer?
Patrick Stewart
Yes.
wasn't there.
Do you say that when you watch women's soccer?
I wait until they change out of their practice tops to their
you have a
uniform tops.
daughter that plays soccer.
Yeah, but I don't watch that.
I don't watch my own daughter play.
I turn my head when that happens.
I just look at her teammates.
I'm not creepy.
Damn it, Jim.
I'm not creepy.
Now if my brother-in-law's listening, I'm busted.
Who's your top 5 list if you could have one?
When we're not recording, let me tell you a story.
So I was walking into a women's locker room, and let me tell you,
Hey, regarding top 5 bounty hunters from 2 weeks ago, from Doctor Number One,
A little late, Doctor Number One.
well,
and he doesn't give an order. He just lists some.
Actually, I think Dr. Number One sent it, complained that we didn't read it. Then Jason ignored it last week, so he complained again.
so now intern Hackney put it on.
All right, so corrections from Dev.
You forgot Nick Albright.
Did you have the music ready?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think this music is gonna make you go mathematical on your ass.
Chill Study is who made this.
Yeah, you want to talk about integrals? Let's see if this
This is
integer goes to infinity.
This is Mattis Mueller.
from Nick.
Oh,
Oh, Bryce.
oh, you're up, Bacula.
You're going to have to cure his unknown. Jefferer. That's what he says. Jefferer. What.com?
Freemusic.com?
Sure.
What? Your ranking of the usual Hobie folks for ability to do math. Hashtag, I want you to sit on my number one.
Better than your
Hashtag,
number
math
2.
feels good. Hashtag, solve for infinity.
Premiumbeat.com.
Hashtag, give me your integer.
Hashtag you're up, Scott.
Well, I would say, knowing my poor ability of actually doing arithmetic, I would usually rank myself probably last. However, after watching Jason try to figure out how to do these averages last week on our poll, I think I'll rank myself slightly ahead of Jason.
And you know his signature authorizes checks for companies paying claims.
Well, as long as he's got like the computer or calculator to do it for him.
Have you seen the calculator you can buy that gives you wrong answers every time? No. You haven't seen that?
No.
It was an advertisement. It was like for the office. It's an office calculator.
sounds
You
like
put
a
number
terrible
in,
calculator.
It gives you the wrong number. It gives you the wrong answer every time. It's hilarious.
I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Now I'm going to have to look.
I don't know if I've ever really had to deal with Blake doing math.
He's really good at wordy stuff because he's got that high ranking on his program.
Yeah, but that's not math related. But he had to authorize money too, but so did Jason. So
But that was for the government, so you know it's overpaid.
okay, so Blake will be ahead of me, and then I'll put Jim at number 1.
Yes.
for math. I know he got a
'Cause
better
He's a
math
bartender,
score.
and he has to calculate 20% tips on all the cars that are left overnight.
I have to figure out how much these guys are screwing me, not tipping me 20%. $1 on 7. I should get $1.40, you dumbass.
Anyways, what else we got? Corrections from Dev.
Oh, are we moving forward?
Yes.
Oh, no, I got a breaking story here. Magic Johnson steps down as the Lakers team president at a stunning press conference on the eve of the season finale.
I didn't know he was the team president.
Oh, the team did really good.
They didn't make the
Oh, they
playoffs.
didn't make the playoffs.
No.
With all the money and getting LeBron and all that shit.
Is that
Yeah.
baller guy still there?
No, he was... Oh, no, his son, Ball is
yeah,
still there.
Lorenzo Ball.
Yeah.
Yes, here it is. You can look it up on Amazon. It's called the Wrongulator, the calculator that always gives you the wrong answer.
That sounded like something from Star Trek. The Wrongulators. The Wrongulators are coming!
Anyways, okay. Top 5, Doctor Number 1, Bounty Hunters. Jinx, Sean Payton and Greg Williams. I like that. Greedo, Stephanie Plum. I love me some Katherine Heigl.
No
Yeah,
one
me-
does.
I do. You don't.
No.
Anyways, and Lobo. Is that Sheriff Lobo?
No, not Sheriff Lobo.
That's Lobo from the DC Comics. He's an intergalactic bounty hunter.
Intergalactic.
I thought there was a Lobo character on Renegade, too.
Renegade.
Oh, that I don't
Television
know.
show.
I was assuming he was talking about the DC Comics Lobo, but I could be wrong. I did read the DC issue where he killed Santa Claus.
Lobo.
Yes.
Yeah. I did see, speak of like revenge and bounty hunters, I did see Death Wish with Bruce Willis this week.
Oh yeah,
Not the original.
Not the original.
The
Reboot.
reboot.
Oh,
Tease.
What's it all reboot?
it's not. It was not good. It was bad. It was typical Bruce Willis acting.
So it was fantastic.
So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
squints a lot.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's not going to be on your list?
For worst reboots?
Ooh, it could be.
We don't have worse reboots.
It's failed reboots.
Oh, failed reboots.
Top
okay.
5 failed reboots.
Okay.
So it's however you want to take that. It's just not worse. It's just top 5 failed.
This is going to be a clusterfuck.
It's open to interpretation.
Which
Okay.
is why we probably won't have similar lists.
No, just don't go see it. It's awful. It's on Amazon. It's not good.
All right. So, anyways,
Well, you don't have to
I
go
recommend
see
it.
It's coming in. Speaking of Amazon, I watched. I finally got to see that Russian movie Guardians.
How was it?
With
The bear?
with the bear. Like the visuals are actually pretty stunning for being a not a Hollywood movie, like coming from somewhere else. The storyline was fairly pedestrian, but it was kind of cool and some good action.
You would recommend it to watch? If
Yeah,
had
if you've got
else.
nothing else to do.
Yeah. I wanted to see it.
I think it's on Amazon Prime if you have that.
Yeah.
So.
What else you got?
yes. We, as you said, corrections from Dev,
Our favorite side guy.
the Psy guy. He says, regarding the origin of Nova in Marvel Comics / film universe, John C. Reilly plays Roman Day in Guardians of the Galaxy. The thought is that he escapes Xandar as Thanos is destroying the planet. He's just trying to bring balance, okay? Heads to Earth and transferred his Nova Corps powers to the original Nova Richard Rider.
Dick Ryder.
Nova, no go, Dick Ryder. Spanish, Nova, no go.
Yeah, I get it.
That's why the Ford Nova never
Never
took
went,
off in
yeah.
Mexico. All right.
I got it.
That's just fan speculation, he points out. But it could happen.
Why is this under corrections if it's fan speculation? It's
Well,
not-
it's correction because we didn't know who Nova was.
Well, yeah, that's all. He wasn't mocking us. He was just giving us information.
okay.
Talk to Hackney. He's the one that fucks this up.
He's the one that put it under corrections.
Hackney.
But Jason thought John C. Reilly was playing Nova, and
Which I would still pay to see. John C. Reilly as Nova. That's the only reason I could care about Nova. Doug's got a correction.
Doug says, Blake said Wallace Shawn was at last year's expo. If Blake ever went to the expo, he would know that Shawn was there in 2017.
Good job, Blake.
Thanks, Doug. I thought you were on my side.
oh, you thought wrong.
You know, it's kind of funny. I was just this past week talking about somebody about Wallace Shawn being a dick and you're not allowed weren't to say inconceivable, and you wouldn't say inconceivable.
Not that you would know.
That
No,
story
no,
is just
no.
so inconceivable
It
to
is
me.
inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Anybody want a peanut?
From the Pop Culture Podcast, Marvel has announced that they will not be announcing the schedule of movies coming after Endgame. Do you think other studios will release a flood of their own superhero franchises within that gap of no Marvel films?
They're running out of other studios to release them.
And it's not that there's going to be a gap of no Marvel films. It's just that they're just not going to release the schedule of when they're coming out.
Yeah.
Because you still have
Spider-Man is summer.
You still have Spider-Man. You still have the second Captain Marvel. You still have another Black Panther.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So
And apparently it's not completely dead yet that New Mutants will...
Yeah, that is true.
It
That
might
is-
still end up in the theater.
Do you
in
care at
August.
this point?
It will end up in the theater.
Do you care at this
Probably.
Probably.
point? Even if it's one theater, it will be in a theater.
I do want to see it, but it's taken so long. It's, at least 3 years
Yeah.
past when they shot that
It feels like a decade ago when we saw that trailer.
But it's got Maisie Williams.
It's got Maisie Williams looking a lot
love her
younger than
singing.
she is.
Yeah.
I love her singing.
You would.
That's Macy Gray. Never mind.
God, I hate him so much.
Jason Waterfalls. Leave it. That's not that.
I hate him so much sometimes.
Flames on the side of my face.
Burning.
But he's... Wow. The song was TLC, Jason.
Oh, okay.
well, that was TLC by
Macy Gray.
Macy Gray.
Oh,
Your
okay.
Macy Gray was much better than his.
Oh, thank you.
Macy Gray, I'm here.
No, his is better.
I didn't know who you were trying to.
Waterfalls.
I didn't announce who I was. He didn't know it was Macy Gray. Look,
Leave it to the streams and the pirates.
Was that the Pirates?
That's what he said.
To the streams and the pirates. Don't go, Jason Waterfalls.
This is so bad. I have to apologize to anybody who listens to this week's podcast.
Yeah. You know, the best thing about this is that Miguel Leal is coming up with a Kickstarter. And one of the non-player characters is Jason the Mimic. With a charisma of 3. He's an anti-bard.
I don't know what you're saying.
Bard.
That's the best part. He doesn't know what we're saying.
I can help you. You ready? Gummy bears, where do they live? Down the street.
Jason,
See?
you
Anti-bard.
Jason, you know what we're talking about if you show up to.
You just muted me.
Yes, I did.
You sons of.
I just don't need to hear that Gummy Bear song ever again.
Change approved.
He's also the NPC that can never die.
He's got 1 million hit points. But the problem is he gets injured so much he can't walk around much.
I feel like
So what's worse? The anti-bard? Is that worse than an energy vampire?
Can we talk about that real quick?
We already did when you weren't here.
Oh my god, that movie. Did you see the second episode?
What We Do in the Dark. I haven't seen the
Shadows.
second episode.
What We Do in the
What We Do in the
Shadows.
Shadows.
Have you seen the second episode?
I have, yes.
First episode was better, but the second episode was hilarious when they go to the city
They
council.
go to city council.
I
yes.
wanted to do that. But yes, the
Can't get up.
where they go to get the virgins for the master that comes in town. They find the LARPers, and they're sitting there watching them. They're like, through the window as they're playing, they're like, we can't do that. It's too sad. Pathetic. But if you see the mockumentary, it's like, this is stew. We don't eat stew. Peter, we don't eat stew. Then he's acting computer programmer to show him how to use computers. Anyways.
The energy one, it might be my favorite
I like
vampire.
the energy vampire.
And then I was going to grill this weekend, and I don't know if it might rain. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Just his reaction at the end of episode 2.
Really? I
Yes.
need to. I've got it recorded. I gotta watch it. But I like episode 1 where he's in the office and he goes, "I have 2 powers. I either suck your energy or I make you, or I'm completely intolerable." He's sitting here at the pencil sharpener, driving everybody insane.
We did have just a question since we're on listener feedback real quick here. Doug asked, "You're sitting next to Blake, and I'm watching Justice League with my free HBO week. Who's having the worst night?"
Oh, Doug.
Doug,
By
Justice
far.
League. I'll sit next to Russian boy over here with his, outfits.
I'm wearing my Russian mafia
Your tracksuit. Hello, my name is Blake.
Yeah,
That's French.
Yeah, the Russian from from Louisiana over there.
we got to make sure we got tell Liao he's got to listen for his Kickstarter ideas this episode. We're ending it with Professor Number 1, Doctor Number 1. What was the point of the Saturday Night Live weekend update anchors in WrestleMania's Battle Royale?
It was awful. I don't even want to talk about
Were
it.
they actually fighting?
They were in the Battle Royal.
Oh.
Yeah. Braun Strowman eliminated them. It was bad.
That was, I suppose the point was that Colin Jost and Michael Shea can make some extra money.
Sure. And mainstream media that nobody cares about with this. So we do have.
Apparently, though, Saturday Night Live was making fun of Dungeons and Dragons this week.
What?
There's an uproar in the Dungeons and Dragons Twitter community.
I hate Saturday Night Live so much it's be off the air.
Or who cares? Well, no, not that much. They're not trying to get it banned. They're just trying to show that we're not the stereotypical, basement dwellers from the 70s anymore.
Unless you're LARPers.
Well, yeah.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, we'll make fun of the other guys because we're not that bad.
Somebody asked me, "Do you LARP?" I said, "No, I like to kind of think of myself as the cool D&D geek, not the."
Is there such a thing?
I don't know. I made it up.
Sorry. Let's do some Riddle Me This.
All right, we're riddling. So this is a continuation of our Muppets in horror movies. We are
Thanks to cinema, guys.
Yes, we are doing Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
Silence of the Lambs, if played by Muppets, how would we, as a podcast, cast. Silence of the Lambs. We got the characters we need to fill in are Clarice Starling, Hannibal Lecter, Buffalo Bill, Dr. Chilton, who runs the asylum Lecter's locked in, and Jack Crawford, the head of the CIA.
The douchebag.
No, Jack
Oh, no,
Crawford's
he's not. Sorry.
Chilton's the douchebag.
Chilton's the douchebag. So this is from the cinema guys. They said this. They said last week or
In the
2 weeks
cinema
ago.
persons.
Yeah, cinema person with Lisa. 2 weeks ago we did what movie? Oh, Seven. We did
Seven.
Yeah.
So every 2 weeks, I think we're going to do this. So
Until we get bored with it.
correct.
So
Next 2 weeks will be done.
We've run out of ideas.
Activate is next. No.
better than the boardroom.
So we can all help each other on this. It's not draft day. So who would you do? Who would you put in as Clarice, played by Jodie Foster?
Kermit with a wig.
I would do Kermit.
Gotta
Really?
make it Kermit.
Yeah,
Kermit's
he-
the main character
he
in
is-
all the movies.
Yeah, he's the protagonist.
Yeah, he is the Muppet protagonist.
I had Miss Poggy, who was the Miss Piggy offshoot in the Muppets movie, The Muppets, who was in Vegas. She
Okay,
was the
so
one
Jason's wrong.
What?
I also had Denise.
Huh?
Denise.
That was Kermit's new girlfriend.
You mean D Nice?
Denise.
D nice.
About if we're keeping
We don't have to.
No, we don't have. If we're keeping the gender the same, the only ones I really thought of was like maybe like going into Fraggle Rock and getting like Red or Moki, or
Skeeter.
Skeeter.
Or it could be a comedy because Miss Piggy always wants to be the star,
Yeah, but
so
fuck her.
she, be doing
No,
the
she's a
Jodie
pig.
Foster.
So we're doing. Who did you say? Kermit.
Kermit,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be Kermit.
Hannibal Lecter, played by Anthony Hopkins.
Now this is the one I like this idea, but it only
Man.
I'm going to throw this out, but I don't see it coming through. But the place where people, when somebody needs to go to get advice, the trash heap from Fraggle Rock.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you can't throw them in a
Correct.
in a straitjacket and mask.
Yeah.
I had Swedish Chef.
Now I had.
Oh my God, I had Swedish Chef, but only because I couldn't make my mind up between the other two, which I kept going back and forth. But I did think Swedish Chef would be pretty funny because Kermit would go to talk to Hannibal, and the Swedish Chef would be like,
And they put a mask on it.
yeah, he got a make
Or Beaker.
I went with.
Yeah.
I think it should be Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
That's a good one.
Hold on.
You know what?
I
He kind of has
saved-
the look.
Yeah.
I saved Bunsen Honeydew for Dr. Frederick Chilton.
Oh, I had
Well, hold on.
I had somebody else in mind for Chilton.
But
So let's put a
But
pin
I
in
did say
this.
Swedish Chef. But I kept switching between Bert and Ernie for Hannibal Lecter because I could see putting Ernie in there.
Mhm.
But even Bert originally, I thought
If you're going with those, I would go Bert over Ernie.
And then do
Yes,
Ernie as
yeah.
Buffalo Bill.
Eh,
I had somebody else
now
for it.
I kept going between Bert and Ernie for Buffalo Bill as well. This
See-
is where my problem was.
well, we're not finalizing these. Let's move on, and then we'll come back.
Buffalo
okay.
Bill, I actually did a lot onto this. I really like this one. This is probably my favorite one. Crazy Harry, the one that kept blowing stuff up.
For Buffalo Bill.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
I was thinking Big Bird.
I had
For me, for Buffalo Bill,
Time out. Now I can't get that out of my head of Big Bird
Big Bird.
crossing his leg.
I was thinking for Buffalo Bill though. What's his name?
With
Sweet
the lotion in the bucket.
Where's my snuffleupagus?
see I,
I was thinking Sweetum, the
Big monster.
the big monster.
For
Jack
Buffalo
not
Bill.
name, Jack Job.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he picks up the car.
Do you like
It's
sweet
like, oh, he's so pretty.
Now, I also had for Buffalo Bill, I Sam the Eagle because he's so straightforward.
I got him later.
Yeah, I got him later too.
I'd lay my egg. Would I?
I
Would
do
you
love Sam the Eagle.
All right, or Buffalo Bill. Go for it, Miss Piggy. What size? What size is your skin? All right,
What, you making crackling?
or
Honestly,
Or-
Miss Piggy would be what's her name? The name of the first victim.
That's
You big
fine. I
fat
can't.
girl.
are you?
I can't
You
stand
big
it.
fat girl.
Or I even threw out Ralph the dog. as Buffalo Bill.
That may not be bad. I could see that. He's kind of a side character, but he
Yeah.
could play that. I could see that.
Sorry, they puts the lotion in the basket.
And he's playing the piano while he's talking.
Yeah.
I'm Ralph the dog. Put the lotion in the basket.
Chris, now I can't get over Big Bird crossing his legs.
Or Big Bird, yeah.
Okay, so,
So if we do Big Bird, does that mean his dog is played by Snuffleupagus?
yes, yes.
I got the dog.
So change approved. We're going Big Bird and stuff else. Yes. Dr. Frederick Chilton. I had Beaker or Scooter.
Oh, that-
Scooter is crazy enough.
I wanted to put Scooter in as Jack Crawford.
That's where I had Sam the Eagle as for Dr. Chilton.
Statler. Or Waldorf. One of the two.
They're crazy.
They're grumpy. They're old.
I mean,
Yeah.
Chilton's the one who like gets mad when people do things that aren't under his control. Scooter. I'm Sam the Eagle.
I see. I had Sam the Eagle as Jack Crawford.
I don't see that one at all.
Statler and Waldorf bitch about everything. They complain about everything.
Blake,
They
who'd you
complain
have?
about stuff they can't.
Or could you do Gonzo as Buffalo Bill?
Oh, we're going back Buffalo Bill for Gonzo?
No, but I know for Chilton I had Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. And then
Okay.
Jack Crawford I had Scooter.
Scooter I could get with Crawford, as Crawford.
But Jack, I would think Sam was what I was thinking. But
For
For
Chilton?
Crawford or Chilton?
for Crawford,
That's what I had as Sam the Eagle.
yeah, that's what,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that. I'm thinking him more of a Chilton. I can't get that out of my head.
Okay, so let's try to get these settled here.
And when he's having an old friend for dinner, you'd have the bird up on being roasted.
I like Brontosaurus ribs and from
Flintstones. Look it up, kids. So let's do Clarice. None of my picks worked.
It's got to be Kermit.
Kermit, okay. I did have Janice just because I want to see Janice in that role.
It would be Kermit or possibly Skeeter if maybe as an understudy. I don't know.
As an understudy.
we have Kermit. He is the protagonist, and Janice is too dumb to be in that role.
No, and that's why I kind of wanted to see. Okay, so Hannibal Lecter. You know what? I'm giving you Big Bird. Give me Swedish Chef for Hannibal Lecter.
Or Bert.
Or Bert. Yeah.
I kind of like Dr. Bunsen Honeydew for that one.
I do like Honeydew, though, too. That's a
I
tough
could
one.
just see him wearing the mask. He's the one that the mask fits on.
Okay, we'll do Bunsen Honeydew.
Sure.
We'll do that. Nobody wins. You all win. Buffalo Bill, I had Crazy Harry, but then who did you? Oh, no, we said Big Bird with Snuffleupagus.
Bird. Oh, that is
I'm 3 for 3 right now on characters.
There you go.
Frederick Chilton, who did you have? Blake?
That was my Honeydew.
Okay.
Dr.
I was
Bunsen
Statler or Waldorf, or just both of them.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because like when they did Muppet Christmas Carol, they
Yeah.
threw both of them in as a one-person role anyway.
Okay, change approved.
So Jim's going to get this whole...
And Sam the Eagle.
Jim thought of this on the ride over.
Put a lot of effort into this.
I am pretty smart.
We did have a couple options here from people. From Brad, who was on our show a couple episodes
Well,
ago.
if these are better than ours, we could. I'll
We'll change it.
Yeah, we
He's
can
from the
change
Cinema Guys podcast, along with Lisa and Justin.
Cinema persons.
Sorry. Okay, he's going cast this as a starring vehicle for the Electric Mayhem, the band from the Muppets. Janice is cast in Jodie Foster's role. Dr. Teeth is Hannibal. I like Dr. Teeth as that.
I can see him playing that role.
Animal is Buffalo Bill, and he just said, lotion, skin, hose, hose, hose. Floyd as Scott Glenn's character, and Zoot as an orderly. He said, let's see, he said he wanted to change his Zoot. Sorry, Zoot will play Anthony Heald's character, which is Dr. Frederick Chilton. So, and he said money in the bank right there. Pam, Sister Pam, had Clarice, Miss Piggy. Kermit, because he loves Miss Piggy so much and likes to eat meat. Piggy. Oh, he's Lecter.
Oh, boo, Pam, boo.
Jack Crawford's character is Fawzy. Waka, waka, waka. Jim, you do that better.
Waka, waka, waka.
Thank you. Buffalo Bill is Animal. Everybody likes Animal as Buffalo Bill.
Because he's crazy.
Chilton is Beaker. Catherine Martin is Janice. And Senator Ruth Martin is Camilla the Chicken. I like that one. And Barney is Ralph the dog. So I
don't know
like
who-
this.
I don't know who Barney in the movie was.
I like the sound of Ruth Martin. I like that one.
Yeah, we'll use Camilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can deal with that.
So there you go. If you have any picks for who you want as the Muppets in Silence of the Lambs, please send it to us at Bad Ideas Podcast on Twitter, History of Bad Ideas on Facebook, or hobiepod@gmail.com. We'll get to that in 6 months.
Or if you have a movie that you think we should recast with Muppets,
Please send it over to us. Please.
Preferably a horror movie because it's more fun.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A horror movie.
horror movie.
Bossy Breast 2.
Blake's selection of DVDs.
You know, there's on adamandeve.com, they have a commercial. It's a adult website.
What?
Yeah, I know. And they have a commercial. And my wife and I were watching TV, and this commercial came up for Adam and Eve, and they're like, "If you order now and spend $50 or more, you'll get 5 DVDs shipped to you." And she looked at me, she goes, "Who buys DVDs of porn anymore? It's the internet, right?"
People who don't want their IP address spread out.
I guess spread out.
I didn't even mean it that way, but
I saw what you did. I just thought it's true. It's like, oh my god, that really is like. I want to know what DVDs they're sending to.
the ones you asked
Babe
for.
the Pig, Dumbo. No, they were gifts. They said.
Oh, so you don't get to choose.
No, you
the
don't
ones?
get to choose. They send them. So let's do some news of the geek.
It's time for another installment of the News of the Geek.
This might be my favorite story.
Ever?
It's up there. It's up there. Okay, favorite story since the Alien play a couple weeks ago. So, per the Cincinnati Enquirer, the local newspaper that is just the epitome of high quality news.
You mean the one that's published out of
Columbus,
Columbus,
Yes.
Ohio? Yes.
TriHealth, which is a health company, is suing a company known for sexually explicit gag gifts after receiving one of their products anonymously.
Receiving it how?
Unknown. TriHealth claims that the website Dicks by Mail, intentionally or through negligence, caused emotional distress to its employees. The medical company says these phallus-shaped confetti was sent to one of their offices, a family medical practice. The medical company says it was sent, the confetti penises, from their website in a spring-loaded package described on the website as a bomb. When the office manager opened the packages, hundreds of confetti penises shot out, some which struck the office manager, whom they described as startled and frightened. There's a dick on my face, isn't there?
Several.
Nothing about the package. Nothing about the package warned it was spring-loaded dick bomb. This is what the lawsuit states. Nothing about the package warned that it was a spring-loaded dick bomb. The package's return address identified the sender as Posters Are Us. The lawsuit states Dicks by Mail operates a website where a person can anonymously send edible, gummy, and non-edible confetti to third parties. The website describes their products as meant for loved ones, as a surprise or a joke meant to induce laughter, or foes, they say, that deserve that feeling of sadness, disappointment, and betrayal, and dicks.
You know, the first question TriHealth should be asking themselves when something like this happens is, what did we do to make someone this mad at us? Someone doesn't do this, just because, it'll be a fun joke. They wanted to get back at them for something.
Yeah.
So they pissed somebody off.
Yeah.
Maybe they should start checking into their practices before just automatically thinking of suing people.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, this is America. Never mind.
And it caused no bodily harm.
Wait a minute. How can you say that? Because, what did it say?
It's emotional harm, Jim.
Yeah.
Emotional distress.
Yes, emotional distress can be shown out physically.
Okay, then the person who's probably
give you
claimed
a
that
heart
they turned
attack.
down should probably sue them for emotional distress because they worry that they can't get any their health care.
Well, I agree with that, too.
Yeah, so
Hey, down the hall.
no, if TriHealth is going to sue this company for emotional distress, then people that they shit on who send them dick bombs should probably be able to sue TriHealth too
For emotional
for
distress.
emotional distress. I worried so much I didn't know if I could get this procedure or not.
So down the hall.
No, anybody. My thing is anybody who has a frivolous lawsuit like this should be told to go fuck themselves.
Well, yes.
And I wish I was the judge to say that to them.
Could a judge say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, a judge can easily say that.
Okay.
They have the right of free speech.
This is a new one coming up.
You were
Bust.
ignoring me, weren't you?
I heard
and
that.
then you're like, oh, I realized what you said.
Yes. Where are we at? Yes, this just came out tonight. Disney Plus, the new streaming service, has announced they are making a Monsters, Inc. TV series on Disney Plus with John Goodman and Billy Crystal, along with Henry Winkler and Lucas Neff and Ben Feldman as voices.
Aubrey Plaza.
I'll get to that in a second here. They will be joined by also John Ratzenberger, and Jennifer Tilly will also be in there,
All right.
and Bob Peterson as Ross.
Are you going to make Jennifer Tilly's shirt fall off?
That's Blake. Monsters at Work picks up 6 months after the original movie, with the power plant at its center now harvesting the laughter of children to fuel the city. The series follows Tyler Tuskman, an eager and talented mechanic on the Monsters, Inc. facilities team who dreams of working along the laugh floor with Mike and Sully. Henry Winkler plays his boss. So that's coming out on Disney Plus.
Am I going to hate it?
Monsters University was bad.
I
don't think it's as bad as most people said it was.
I didn't dislike.
but-
I actually enjoyed it when I watched it.
Okay.
But it was what I.
Did you like
expected it
Monsters,
to be.
Inc.?
Yeah, I like Monsters Inc. a lot.
Okay, I do
actually.
too. I did too.
Again, it was much better. It was better than Monsters University, but I enjoyed Monsters University. It was what I expected.
Monsters University was better than Cars 2. There is no defense for that piece of shit.
I think like The Good Dinosaur was better than Cars 2.
Whoa. That was on last weekend, and we just saw like half hour of it. I'm like, oh god, this is so bad. Even the main character you want to die.
In Cars 2?
Yes. So there you go. There's your news of the geek. Jeff, what are you doing September 20th through the 22nd?
I'm going to be at the Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Are you?
I am.
Doug. Jim, what are you doing? September
Let
20th through the 22nd?
me check my calendar. Oh, I'm going to the Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Ooh. Blake, what are you doing?
I'm checking my calendar.
Okay. Anyways, so
That's what he's doing
okay,
September
check.
20th through the 22nd.
at the Duke Energy Convention Center. Go to CincinnatiComicExpo.com. Get your tickets. Hobie will be there playing some trivia. And not only that, announced today from Lord of the Rings and
The Walking
Titanic.
Tree.
Yes, the Walking Tree.
No.
Bernard Hill.
Theoden King.
The reason this is
Theoden?
such a big one is because it's his first USA signing ever.
Really?
Yeah. They finally
Ever?
got him. Yeah.
Is he not American?
No, he's not. Thank you, Blake. Anyway, so yes, they are. He will be there. Also, Justin Mim from the Umbrella Academy.
Number
saw
6.
Yep. Emmy Raver Lampman. She's from the Umbrella Academy.
Number 3.
Is that it? Oh yeah.
Heard a rumor?
Yep. So those are just announced. Garrick Hagen, who is Biggs from Star Wars, he's going to be there.
Biggs Darklighter.
Josh
know-
Keaton, the voice actor from Spectacular Spider-Man
Yo.
and Jeff's favorite movie, Hercules.
You ever play the Star Wars Trivial Pursuit?
Yes.
Biggs is like the answer for like 50% of all the questions.
It is. If you don't know the answer, you
If
just
you
say
don't know the
Biggs.
answer
Say
and it's
Biggs.
from the first movie, the
Yeah.
answer's Biggs.
Yes. Another Star Wars great, Alan Harris, who played Bosk, because everyone loves
Great.
Bosk. Chad Hardin, the artist for Harley Quinn, Zatanna, and Spider-Man. So there you go. But yeah, so they got a lot of good guests. Also, Commissioner Gordon himself is coming, Jeff, from Gotham. Ben
McKenzie?
He's going to be there too.
That's a good get.
That is a good get.
Maybe
And,
we can get Gotham Lights to record on site.
or we just do it and we're saying that we're Gotham Lights.
Sure.
Gotham Lights here. I'm Hedo. I have abs. And anyways, also, Alan Tudyk is going to be there as well. So there you go.
The voice of
He was in Firefly.
He was
Rogue
a,
One.
yeah, the
Robot in.
K2S. I forget what the name it was.
That's a good one, Jeff. Anyways, get your tickets at CincinnatiComicExpo.com, September 20th through the 22nd. Tell them Hobie sent you. Because we'll be there, smiling and everything.
Well, I can't guarantee a smile.
Oh, we will. We'll be smiling. We love the expo. It's a fun time. We meet a lot of people.
But you see how awkward it is when I smile.
Oh, that is scary.
Why so serious?
Because I'm Joaquin Phoenix doing the Joker.
Oh, man, that's a great impersonation. I knew exactly who you were.
I'm Joaquin Phoenix. Don't go near the water. The aliens hate the water. Throw some water on them.
Wait, no, you're supposed to go near
Oh,
the water.
sorry.
Swing away, Meryl.
Swing away. This is Night Comic Expo, September 20 through 22nd.
Hey, hooligans, this is Michael
This is Michelle.
This is Jeremy.
from Who the What Now?
The show about
Strange stories from the internet.
And Bigfoot came over and beat his ass. He knocked him around a little bit, and he just kind of went limp, and Bigfoot left.
pop culture.
Jean-Claude Van Clam.
I thought
Jean-Claude
I
Van
thought you were
Clam
gonna-
was supposed to be the alien in Predator. And did a jump splits and ended up with his bash right in the dude's face.
That's his
Do I
move.
get the part?
In our crazy lives.
I'm like, oh, there's a cat on my back. And then all of a sudden, I feel something. I feel a furry paw go down my ass crack. Just slide right down my ass crack. I was like, what are you doing?
You can catch us on all your favorite podcast applications,
Spotify.
iTunes,
Libsyn.
iHeartRadio,
Stitcher.
your mamas, and wherever else they have quality podcasts.
So don't miss out on the next
Who the What
Now?
Don't worry, Toby. Just use the force. Like in that film, you know.
365 Flicks Podcast. 365 Flicks Podcast. Come and listen to it right after you finish this podcast you're listening to. It's got Chris and Kevin and a weather guy called Toby. What's the point in a weather report on a podcast, I hear you ask? Well, there's only one way to find out. Download every episode that is currently out and listen to those bad boys right now. It's got Toby Osmond, who is kind of a guest host, but thinks he is the most important part of the podcast. Hashtag not joking. Find 365 on iTunes, Libsyn, Spotify, and awesome websites like dangerentertainment.net, nerdly.co.uk, and Tangent Bound Network. It's like shit in a field.
It's time for Box Office Bombs.
All right, this week at the box office. I suppose we'll jump right into the top five, because starting at number one, we had Shazam.
Shazam.
Made $53.5 million on its opening weekend on a $100 million budget.
They were pretty happy with this.
All right.
They said they were expecting between 45 and 55.
And they got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they're happy with that.
I think the word of mouth is going to help.
I think it's going to have not a large drop off.
Well, until this weekend.
We'll get to that. We'll get to it.
Oh, sorry.
That's a tease.
Number two this
Which I don't
week.
think is fair to Shazam because it probably should do well if it's doing like you said.
Pet Sematary made $25 million in its opening weekend on a $21 million budget.
Anyone care to see this?
So a nice horror reboot, which is not a
I'll watch
flop.
it, but I'm not going to pay to see it in the theater.
Question for you: have we done Stephen King adaptations yet?
As a top.
Yeah, 5.
I don't think so.
I thought about that when I saw Pet Sematary on Hackney's outline this week. Thought we could do that next week. Film or TV.
Or music, his music adaptations.
Or Spirit Animals.
Spirit Animals approved. Next week. Top 5 Spirit Animals.
Speaking of spirit animals, what's next?
Dumbo.
Hey!
Dumbo made $18 million, a total of $76.5 million on a $170 million
Wait, are you making
budget.
fun of my big ears, Blake?
No, I'll
Just your long trunk.
see.
Now, I actually talked to someone. The only person I know who personally watched the movie said he actually enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Is he
And-
blind?
No, he
No.
said
Is he deaf?
He might be.
Okay.
But he said it was much better than what everyone's been saying.
Okay. we do have an article next week. Thanks to Hackney, intern Hackney, did not make the news this week about the biggest bombs, and I think Dumbo's going to be on there for next year. So
it could. Well, domestically anyway, it's $100 million in the red right now. So
that's not counting marketing.
93.5 million
total or international?
Total. No, 90. Not 100 million. It's 93.
Jim knows the math.
Oh, I was just estimating.
You were using the wrongulator.
Yes.
They're attacking wrongulators!
Since I'm good at math, I'm using math.
Oh, well, I'm not good at math, so I'm using wrongulators.
Now calculate your 20% tip.
Nothing gets me going on podcasts
16 cents.
Nothing gets me going on podcasts like math.
Us made $14 million, a total of $152.5 on a $20 million budget.
Bust.
Question. The more people I talk to have seen the movie say it sucks and is very predictable.
I've heard both ways. I've heard people, well, I don't know if I've heard anybody who really liked it, but I've heard people who said they liked parts of it or liked the premise. And then I've heard people who said, yeah, it was.
I think the hype was so much that you weren't going to get anything good out of it.
After Get Out, they expected another breakthrough. But
in the ending, a lot of people didn't like the ending either.
Well, don't spoil it for me. I haven't
seen it.
I read the spoilers, and I thought, okay, the ending's not bad. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
They go get bagels? They
Yes,
like
that's
that?
it. That's it. Mandy Moore sings.
No, that's This Is Us.
Oh, my bad.
Number 5 this week, Captain Marvel made another $13 million, a total of $374 million on a $153 million budget.
Thanks, Blake.
Crossed $1 billion.
That's it.
So Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel fought at the box office this week.
I see what you did there.
And Captain Marvel won.
Yeah. Or didn't because they made him change his name.
Or it's a big Captain Marvel sandwich.
Ooh. All right, upcoming April 12th. We have After.
What?
After.
What?
A young woman falls for a guy with a dark secret, and the two embark on a rocky relationship based on the novel by Anna Todd. That's starring Hero Fiennes Tiffin and Selma Blair.
Ugh.
All right, I think I'll miss that.
Thanks, Jeff, for doing that.
We also have Hellboy.
Ooh, another reboot.
What's that old reboot?
He looks like a Balrog.
Based on the graphic novels by Mike Mignola, Hellboy, caught between the worlds of supernatural and human, battles an ancient sorceress bent on revenge.
Looks like the boxer from Street Fighter?
No, Balrog.
Yeah, that's the guy's name in Street Fighter, the boxer, Balrog.
That's David Harbour.
Yeah, and I'm kind of. I think it's going to be something I watch on Netflix. I don't know if I really want to go see this.
I've never been that big of a fan of Hellboy from the inception.
I think we talked about this before. We don't like the art.
I'm not a big fan of Mike Magnolia's art, so I could never get into the.
Mila Jovovich shows in it.
Is she?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ian McShane.
Yeah, I did see that. And part of me is that I don't know. Like you said, I guess I'm not just a big Hellboy fan. I saw the first two; they were okay.
I enjoyed the first two.
Yeah. It's no Andrea Molinari.
Oh,
the creator of the Shepherd.
Right. The Shepherd. Yeah. He has a new one coming out soon.
I'm probably the most excited about the Hellboy coming out then.
Jeff, what else?
We have Little coming out.
Little. A woman is transferred into her younger self at a point in her life when the pressure of adulthood became too much to bear.
It's the opposite of
Big.
Big.
One with the trailer where she's looking at herself in the mirror and saying, "What happened to my tits? I paid $15,000 for those."
I don't remember that from the trailer, but
sure.
probably.
We're going with it.
Regina Hall.
Yep. It doesn't look horrible. It looks better than After.
And it looks better.
It's nothing compared to Big.
And it looks better than the other one coming out.
No,
this
we
week.
can't talk about it because everything that come out this week is just one-word titles. This fucking movie had to go 2, so you have to pick a title. Pick one of the words.
Link.
I'll take
there you
Missing.
Fuck this
The
movie.
charismatic Sir Lionel Frost considered himself to be the world's foremost investigator of myths and monsters. I think he's one of the guys you met at
Miami Town Paranormal
Yes,
Fest. We interviewed him. Did you know Bigfoot is not a pet of the aliens? Didn't know that was even on the table.
The trouble is none of his small-minded high society peers seem to recognize this. Sir Lionel's last chance for acceptance by the adventuring elite rests on traveling to America's Pacific Northwest to prove the existence of a legendary creature, a living remnant of man's primitive ancestry, the missing link.
This animation creeps me out.
Yes, that claymation from what's his name and the whatever.
Is this
From
Nick
It.
Park?
No,
From
it's
It.
not, but it's
No?
from it looks like Wallace and Gromit or
Yeah,
whatever.
Wallace and Gromit.
But it's kind of like a
Kinda.
cartoon too. It's like a weird texture of it.
It like new cool animation. Spider-Man into the universe.
No.
I think it'd be
Spider-Verse.
more kind of like, what was it, the Day of the Dead, or the, what was that?
The Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Coco?
Yeah, Coco. I think it looks similar to that, the animation
Okay.
to it.
I never thought about it.
But the
Maybe it's just the link is scary
the
looking.
cast, Hugh Jackman,
Ooh.
Zach Galifianakis playing Mr. Link,
Eh.
Zoe Saldana, Timothy Oliphant, Emma Thompson,
Oliphant.
Stephen Fry. Yeah, so
Okay.
And Hugh Jackman does dance and sing in that.
I would go out for a beer with him.
Saw it in the trailer.
Okay.
All right. Buy sell.
Buy and sell the
Career
stock.
of Zach Levi, who is at $172.47.
What's he in?
Shazam!
Oh, that guy.
Yes,
That
I
is
would
really
really
high.
sell
plays
that
the-
immediately.
He
if
plays
I
the
had-
mentor. I would sell that. Yeah, I'm with
If
you,
I
Jeff.
had Zach Levi at 172, if I was smart enough to buy that and it got
Yep.
up this high, I'm selling.
Yep, sell.
I'm going by your guys' advice.
Jim?
I'm just seeing if he has anything else coming up. That
Shazam 2.
Could be.
They just hired the same writers for to do Shazam 2.
He
There you
has
go.
nothing coming up until then either. There's nothing on his
Really?
page.
Seeing Thor 3, 4, 5,
They
whatever.
killed him off.
Oh, that's right.
So I'd sell. At 172 is an awful lot.
And then we also have Jason Clark at $24.22.
He was in Pet Cemetery.
I
Yes.
don't know who this person is.
You would if you,
You
saw the
recognize-
picture.
There's a picture.
He got small.
Let me see. Hey,
Good podcasting here.
show,
Oh, yeah, I've seen that guy before. I'm selling.
all right, show the audience.
Well, I mean, it's,
Audience, this is Jay.
Yeah,
$24.22 I'm selling.
I mean, it's,
He's the guy from.
he's
Yeah,
he's,
Pet
he's,
Cemetery.
he's a that
Oh.
guy who you see around in things, but
he
he's
was-
never going to be a star.
TV
He
show.
starts in Serenity.
The movie that came out last month, named
Yes.
Serenity, that was no good.
Yes, he was the star of that.
Was he in
Okay.
Black Book or whatever that is?
Yeah, what TV show was he on?
With Ultron's voice, James Spader. Black Book?
List.
Blacklist, yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
He was in Zero Dark 30 is probably where he had his best, most successful role.
You know, we have given more attention to Jason Clark here than his agent has. So let's move on.
No, he has The Man with the Iron Heart, The Devil of All Time, and Silk Road are the ones coming up in his thing. For $24, I'm buying.
Bye.
Sell.
Sell.
As soon as you see him, you recognize him.
Yeah, and I
remember from
recognize
what?
I recognize him as a that guy. He's
Yeah.
not going to sell my movie.
Well, when people recognize him, what movies he's in, his value goes up. That's the whole
This is
name
some
of this
top five.
game. It's the name
All
of this
right.
game.
Well, it's now on to top 5.
Top 5.
As voted on by you, the Twitter users.
Top 5 failed reboots. Blake, what's your top 5? What's your number 5?
All right, so as I was doing the failed reboots, I didn't know if these were supposed to be movie series
Movie,
or TV,
TV,
series.
whatever you feel like.
So I
Movie,
mixed it up.
TV,
But then I had to go
music.
But then I had to actually care about it. Failed ones that I actually cared about. So cared as in like I like the original, but the ones that failed,
So ones you might have been anticipating to see.
yeah, and they failed, upset me, or I didn't want to see them because they sucked.
Okay. What's
So
your
number 5 was the Muppets. The first half of the season of the reboot, I actually enjoyed the Muppets, and we talked about it on this podcast
Yes.
in episode. And when they hit mid-season, for some reason, the showrunners thought they had to mix everything up.
Yep.
and they screwed it up, and guess what happens? Oh, it gets canceled.
Well, the reason they thought they had to do it is because they weren't getting the ratings, so they had to either that they thought they had to do something. I will say The Muppets was my number one.
Really?
And my list is based off of my favorite reboots that failed.
Oh, okay.
As in, like, these are reboots of stuff, and I liked them, even though for whatever other reasons they failed financially or to find an audience.
The
So
rumor
you
is
went positive, I went negative.
Yes,
rumor-
and we have the same one on our list.
the rumor is
five.
that Disney Plus
Yours is
is bringing
one.
back the Muppets for a weekly show.
Really?
Not the same idea, but
Oh, well, I liked that idea, though.
I did
That
too.
Well, except I didn't like Kermit and Piggy getting back together.
correct.
I don't care if Frank Oz doesn't like it. It worked for me.
Jim, what's number 5?
Cowboy
Cowboy.
boots.
Oh, I see
Oh,
what
no,
you
I'm just
did
kidding.
there.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
My number
Ring
5.
boots.
I went with reboots that were just horrible, just horrid. That they shouldn't that they made, and people should probably be executed for making them.
okay.
I'll go Overboard.
Oh, that is a horrible. That does look bad.
It didn't need to be made, and let's do it anyway.
The first one wasn't that great.
But let's switch around the guy and the girl characters because that's really going to make it special.
Ugh.
Oh, of course.
Jeff, what's your number 5?
It's all the rage.
Well, my number 5 was Heroes Reborn.
You liked it?
I did. It wasn't that good, and that's why it's 5 on my list. I liked it. I liked the idea behind it. I liked the idea behind the original Heroes. I understand why people didn't go back to it, and yeah, it didn't really live up to. I mean, probably better than later seasons of the first run, but I still liked it, so it made my list of.
Yeah, I don't think I could catch that lightning in a bottle they caught with the first season.
No.
That first season was excellent.
First season was excellent, and then it kind of fizzled out. And like, did they ever save the cheerleader? I can't remember.
Yes.
I remember becoming very disassociated with it after it, really loving it after season 1.
Yeah, they saved the cheerleader.
My top 5 was failed reboots. I did product, books, movies. I did one of each type of category.
Okay.
Number 5 was New Coke from Coca-Cola from 1985. This is the product. They were losing market share to Pepsi, so they went ahead and decided to change up their formula and had New Coke.
Their 99-year formula.
Yep.
Yeah.
It lasted a few months.
They tried to make it taste more like diet.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
I don't remember
Was
exactly.
Diet
what it-
Pepsi like? Because I thought they were trying to make it taste more like Pepsi.
They're trying to make it taste more like Diet Coke.
I thought they were trying to do sugar overload.
It was.
Well,
It was awful.
But think about it actually turned out to be the greatest marketing ploy ever because the demand for classic Coca-Cola just shot through the roof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I know people who say, "Oh, they did that on purpose." I'm like, I don't think they did. I just think they lucked fucking out.
It's one of those
I think so,
mistakes
too.
that happened to.
It
work
wasn't.
out
It wasn't
well.
like IHOB.
Yeah.
My number 4, this is TV. This is something I really wanted to be good, and pisses me off that it didn't, because I really like the original series of the Munsters. This is Mockingbird Lane with Jerry O'Connell. They remade the Mockingbird Lane. They remade the Munsters.
Yeah.
And it was not good.
Well, neither was the original. So.
Stop it. Stop it.
Still don't know your love for the Munsters.
I love the Munsters, and Mockingbird Lane was just a horrible. Well, it's Jerry O'Connell. What do you expect? Outside of Sliders, he was awful.
He was great in The New Guy.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 was the Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour. It was a game. No, this is from 84, 85.
Okay.
They brought back both Match Game and Hollywood Squares, and where the Hollywood Squares, you got 2 rows of people, so they would do a half hour of match game, so you'd have 3 rows or 2 rows of 3 people each, and then they do a quick half hour game of match game, and then the set would adjust and they bring in another row of people behind them, and then they did a half hour of Hollywood Squares, and Gene Rayburn would host Match Game, and John Bowser Bauman would be one of the celebrities, and then they'd switch it for the next game.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. I watched it.
Okay.
And then I suppose it lasted a season, and then like a couple years later, then they did the new Hollywood Squares, you know, where Whoopi was always in the center square. But
You didn't take Paul Lynde?
no, I didn't. But for whatever reason, well, one, because it was the first time they attempted to bring back Match Game from the 70s, which for some reason I always liked that show, and I watched that on Game Show Network. But I don't like the new Match Game they have with Alec Baldwin hosting. Their humor is they always try to just get as big a toilet humor or anti-Trump humor, and most of it's not funny.
Well,
and clever. You can't be clever because then he berates you. Like, I just remember one time someone gave, like, I can't remember what it was, but an incredibly clever answer, and Alec Baldwin acted like it was the stupidest answer out there because I don't think he got it. And then and they only matched one. They actually did match one of the celebrities who one person on that panel was clever.
Did he punch somebody?
I think he did.
Did he?
They parked in his parking spot or something.
He did come out this week and say that he's thinking about a political run and beating Donald Trump would be easy.
Wow.
What's your number 4? What's your number 4, Jim?
Physically beating him?
I don't know.
Because he does beat people.
Yeah, so I didn't say...
He's going to grab him right by the penis.
What's your number 4, Jim?
My number 4, I'm going to go with one of your guys' favorite reboot of a movie. I think you guys saw it in the theater. The Pink Panther.
Hamburger! Hamburger!
Oh, I was so angry at Steve Martin on that movie.
Hamburger!
That movie was complete and utter trash.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah. I didn't even bother to go see it, nor have I ever wasted my
Don't.
time on it.
Don't save yourself the pain.
Yeah.
What's your number 4, Blake?
My number 4 was the Ghostbusters.
That's tied for my number 3.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't hate it as much as I hated these other ones.
Okay. What's your number 3?
I didn't like
What's
it
his
as
number
much as
3?
I liked these other ones.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's your number 2?
No, which is number 3?
What's your number 3?
My number 3, Conan.
See, I said Jason was terrible at counting
Yes.
and math.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he proves you right once again.
So you said Conan.
Yes.
The new one?
The Jason Momoa one?
Yeah, with Khal Drogo.
And you didn't like it?
No, it was horrible.
It wasn't good.
Well, I didn't see it either, but I didn't like the Schwarzenegger one, so that's all
I
right.
like the Schwarzenegger one.
Conan, what are the best things in life? To crush your enemies and hear the lamentation of the women.
Well, something about
Best
your
answer.
enemies driven before you.
No,
isn't
Drive
it?
your enemies
is
before you and hear the cry.
You
and
crush your
lamentation
enemies,
of the women.
see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women.
Correct.
Great answer.
The lactation?
Thank you.
Yes, the lactation.
The lactations.
What's
Yes.
your number 3, Jim?
My number 3 was out this year, or this past year, is Robin Hood.
I have not seen it. I wanted to.
Oh, that looks bad. But there's been a lot of bad reboots of Robin Hood.
Yeah, nothing
there
can
have
get
been.
past Prince of Thieves the best.
Nope.
What's your number 3, Jeff?
My number 3 is Total Recall.
Oh, I forgot they did remake
I
that.
forgot.
I actually
Colin Farrell, wasn't it?
Colin Farrell. I actually liked the remake better than the original.
Wow.
Really?
I wasn't a fan of the original, and Colin Farrell's is so much a better actor than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Get to the chopper.
That was Commando.
Get to the spaceship.
Take my hand.
Was it Commando or was it
Take
Predator?
my hand.
Predators get to the chopper, isn't it?
I thought it was Commando, but
On me. Take
Is that Schwarzenegger singing "Aha"?
Take me on.
Anti-bug.
kill the sound. Kill the sound. Okay,
Blake
Jason.
started it. He made me do it.
Jason, what's your number 3?
No, I do have a question about the new. I can't. I seen it, but I can't remember it. Did they actually differentiate or explain if it was all real or if it was the implant of the memory? Into
They
his brain?
didn't specifically explain.
I don't
but-
think you should. I think that's
Yeah.
part of the
That's
charm.
part
the
the
mystique
charm.
of
Yeah.
the charm of it. Okay.
But they certainly let it be known that it probably was an implant, but you're not sure.
My number 3 is movies. Fantastic Four with Miles Teller, because I just want to punch that guy in the face. He looks like a smug piece of shit. And Ghostbusters, because it wasn't even that it was women, it was just the writing was bad. The writing was really, really bad.
Yeah.
But it had Thor in it.
It did.
And he's dreamy.
Melissa McCarthy did not shat in a sink, though.
When you get a comedy that's not funny,
Yeah.
you can't get much worse than that.
Number 2 for me is video games. This video game pisses me off to no end. I bought it because I was not a huge fan of the series, but this one looked really damn good for the PlayStation 2. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy it. And I knew it was an issue when I bought it at the guy at GameStop, even though GameStop people are usually assholes.
He was laughing at you?
He looked at me, he goes, "Are you sure?" And I go, Yeah? He's like, "Okay, here you go." And I bought Tomb Raider, Angel of Darkness. And it was supposed to be a reboot of the franchise because it was on PlayStation 2 this time.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh, it was horrible. I returned it literally a week later. I turned it in.
Got
got us $5.
I got $35, I think.
Wow, that much?
Yeah, I think it was like 30 or
What?
something. Because it was 1 week out.
Yeah, but still.
Nobody
So
knew.
it was used.
Sure. I'll give you a penny. But yeah, fuck that game. God, I fucking hate that game.
Nickel.
Hate that game.
Have you played the new Tomb Raider from a couple years
No,
ago?
but I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Give you
I did
a
too. I haven't
dollar
played it.
store
Angel
credit.
of Darkness has basically
I'll
just
buy
killed
that for
my love for
$1.
it. Number 2?
My number 2 is V, the television show for, I don't know, 5 years back or whatever that was.
Give it a
My
shot.
issue was they never made it. It didn't seem big, like the Resistance. Even though they kept talking about all these hundreds of Resistance fighters, you never saw them.
Oh, that's because it was the long plan. I
Yeah.
mean, they were the fifth column, is that what they were called?
Yeah.
And whatnot. I was getting into it. I watched it every week. I enjoyed it.
You know who was the star?
Elizabeth Mitchell,
Okay, the other star?
Marina Baccarin.
She'll be at the Cincinnati Comic Expo September 20th through the 22nd.
Did she eat a live rat like in the old V from the 80s?
I think she did, actually.
I don't remember.
Actually, I have no idea.
They
I remember
they
that
brought
in
Ozzy
V.
Osbourne
Yeah.
in as a stunt.
I
Laura
remember watching that as a
Vandervoort was
kid.
in it.
Right.
Yeah, Laura Vandervoort was in it.
Lady Vandervoort?
Laura Vandervoort.
Vanderkamp?
Oh, I thought you said Lord Vandermort.
No, she was
Vanderpump?
She was in Smallville. As
Lisa
Supergirl.
Vanderpump?
Yeah.
Oh, Smallville actress. Was that Elizabeth Moss? Is that or
No, it wasn't Elizabeth. Was Elizabeth Moss in Smallville?
no? Who's the?
Yeah, for the NX thing, yeah, she pleaded guilty.
Yeah.
Oh, the crazy
Yeah.
Chloe. Chloe was the character, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Stephanie, Steph,
No, I can't remember
Susie.
her name.
Susie.
Uh,
Susie Chloe.
No, not her.
Oh, okay.
She's not the one that was in.
Susie Chloe.
That she was so. She thought that the guy was doing good, trying to help people. That's why you were branding them. Oh.
Well, yeah, that shows they were helped.
Sorry, Jim. That's what's coming after the show. What's your number 2?
My number 2, I'm going to go with a reboot that was an actual just made the movie again, shot for shot. Psycho.
Oh, that
Forgot
was
about
terrible.
that.
I don't know how you can make a shot-for-shot remake that bad.
You get somebody like Vince Vaughn,
Vince
who's
Vaughn.
Yeah,
not
Vin-
a great actor in those type of roles, and it's horrible.
That's true.
Your money, Mom. Your money. Mom, your money.
What's your number 2, Blake?
Jason didn't get it.
I got it.
I
Swingers.
didn't say. I'm
Vince Vaughn
I'm
from
Vince
like
Vaughn.
every movie.
Swingers, I got it.
I'm Vince Vaughn, and I'm in Swingers.
Take me on.
I'm Vince Vaughn. I did Maid.
Take on.
You're so money. You're so money. Come on. Look at you. Look at you.
What's your number 2?
My number 2, I love this TV show. Well, the top 2 are TV shows that I really love, and then the reboots, I was like, fuck this.
Happy Days.
But no, Magnum PI. Man,
It's not good.
I have been looking so forward to Magnum PI being rebooted. And originally, the name, McConaughey's name was floated out there. As
That would have been
being
terrible.
Magnum. I thought it would be good, actually. Except he'd be driving a Lincoln. No, but anyways. But I'll tell you, I said, okay. So the reboot and everything came out, and all it took for me was a sneak peek, and I just looked at it and I said, fuck no.
I saw the first
Did it
episode.
get canceled yet?
No, it's on the fence.
Surprisingly, it was renewed for a second season.
Oh, did it get renewed?
Yeah, I
Against
think it did.
everybody's expectations that it was going to get canceled.
I don't think it's as bad as you're I mean, it's not anything better or than what else is on the air.
Here's what made it worse. I was channel hopping, and I came across the channel, and I watched it for 60 seconds, this ridiculous chase scene in Hawaii with cars, a helicopter, and everything. And then I realized it was a new Magnum PI. I said, no wonder this is stupid. And I changed channel.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Jesus Christ, I watched Scorpion for how many episodes?
My God.
I mean, talk about stupid chase scenes and ridiculous things every week. I'm like,
The car can't go as fast as the plane.
I'm like, what? You guys don't have to be an action show, you know?
What's your number one, Blake?
Well, I was going to bring up something about Magnum. The original Magnum PI is credited with bringing back people wearing
mustache?
baseball hats.
Oh.
Detroit Tigers.
Unfortunately.
What's your number one?
My number one. Every Sunday night, I would go to my buddy Dave's house, and we would order a Bearcat pizza, and we would watch X-Files for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would call it a reboot, but a
Wait, watching
continuation.
X-Files with no lights on?
No.
I hope the smoking man's in this one.
Yeah. And so we would actually, so I was really excited when they were coming out with the new season episode, and it was horrible.
Yeah, I remember you reviewing it on the show. It's awful.
It was awful.
I heard they did 6 episodes and one was good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jim, what's your number one?
My number one, it had one of the most classic lines in the reboot, as Nicolas Cage was in a cage yelling, "Bees!"
The Wicker Man.
Wicker Man. I didn't even think the original was that good.
No, it's not.
I saw the original.
I did too.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Just because of the
remake.
Yeah.
I saw the original in it was like a film class in college or something. I'm like, why are we watching this?
Jeff, what's your number one?
My number one was The Muppets.
My number one, Jeff, you'll know this one from comic books. They tried to make it a reboot, and it's the dumbest fucking piece of storyline I've ever read. Spider-Man One More Day. He dissolves his marriage to Mary Jane, a super model who's 30, just to save his aunt, May, who's 90. And he talks to the devil, basically. And the devil says, I'll bring Aunt May back so she doesn't die, but you have to dissolve your marriage because that's so pure and, love and all that. And Peter Parker goes, yeah, that sounds good. And it just rebooted. Oh, my God, fuck that. Fuck that.
I really like the new Aunt May in the movies now.
If Aunt May was only 45 in the comic books, it's understandable. But she was fucking 90. I still think it would have been awesome if they did that, and in the very next issue,
she dies.
She dies from something else.
She died from old age.
Yes.
I absolutely love the talking about that type of ending is City of Angels, where Nicolas Cage decides that he's going to come to life and become a real person, so he can spend his life with
Elizabeth
Meg Ryan.
No, it was Meg Ryan. That's right.
And then she died.
Yes.
he gives up immortality because he loves her so much. They have one night together, and then she gets in a car wreck.
It sounds like a gift to the Magi ripoff.
I absolutely loved that ending.
It was a good ending.
And good old Dennis Franz was an angel, too.
Yeah, he's an angel on heart meds.
Yep.
Listener picks. Kevin at Cincy Explorer had number 5, Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003.
I had some honorable mentions.
Yeah, I had honorable mentions.
Hold on. Pink Panther. Hamburger. Number 3, Ghostbusters: Answer the Call. He even got the subtitle.
That was the subtitle?
I guess.
I
number 2, Fantastic Four from 2015. And number 1, Vacation from 2015 with Ed Helms. I actually like that one. I was expecting a shit fest. I didn't think it was that bad.
So I don't know.
I didn't think it was that bad. Sister Carolyn had Bionic Woman. She rebooted in 2007. Only last 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Most people think that Katie Sackhoff should have been cast in the title role over Michelle Ryan. Number 2, V rebooted in 2009. Canceled after 22 episodes. It was actually a good show and ended on a cliffhanger.
Yes.
And number 1, The Muppets. Too bad this did not find a following. I love the late night show aspect of the reboot. She only had 3.
So she went the same way I did.
Yes.
And obviously having our top 2 were the same.
What's your honorable mentions?
I have King Arthur, I thought that was a horrible.
Oh, the one
film.
we like.
Yes.
I love that movie.
No,
I thought it was a great movie.
Love that movie.
The way they took it, it was completely counter to the original story, and I hated that about it.
Okay.
So I understand if you like it, but I did not like it at all. Then G.I. Joe.
Rise of Cobra.
Uh-huh. I mean, the cartoon, yeah, it was campy, and no one ever died, but you had so much great memories from childhood from it.
Yeah.
And then they make this piece of shit movie that was lampooned by Team America like years before G.I. Joe even came out. They were just that good.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when the climax of your movie was the beginning of a movie lampooning action movies 2 years previous.
And then all the Transformers, they just need to stop.
Even Bumblebee?
I actually enjoyed Bumblebee. I think actually that's a reboot that might work.
Let's see. I had for my honorable mentions, I had Power Rangers.
Oh.
I kind of enjoyed the movie they made like 2 years ago.
It's on my Amazon list because it's free. But
I mean, it wasn't great, no, but was it fun? Yeah, it was fun, and I thought it made the Power Rangers less campy, which I thought was
better.
Yeah, and I also had Dragnet, the television show with
Ethan Embry
and
Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill, yes.
That actually wasn't bad.
I wished it would have been better, or at least gotten better ratings, but yeah, it wasn't bad.
Bad idea of the week, number 329, making a reboot.
Any reboot.
Any reboot. Just making a reboot.
Just even the Jay and Silent Bob reboot?
Yes.
Looking forward to that, though.
It's a good thing each podcast we have is an original.
Yeah.
Not a reboot.
So we'll be back next week.
When we reboot.
And Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Walking Dead to Talking Heads, from comic books to TV sets, there's a history. It's not so bad. There's the history. It's the history of bad, so bad. The history of bad, it's bad. The history of bad ideas. Podcast.
Addendum. Titles for the show.
Let's see.
I had Belts Not Titles. And Can't Use My Real Name.
Belts Not Titles. You missed most of that conversation, too. I had Energy Vampires.
I didn't like it.
And The Wronginator. The Wrongulator, yeah.
Yeah, I think I had Wrongulator in there, too. Yeah, I had Wrongulator, a Captain Marvel sandwich. Anything on that page? Nope. I had Catch Fries.
I did like Catch Fries. Is that one word or two?
That's one word.
Oh, I had 2 words.
Oh, I mispronounced it. It's one.
Okay. I have Half of You Off My Lawn.
Okay, I like that one.
Man Milk. A Hot Mess. When We're Not Recording. You're Up, Bacula. And The Streams and the Pirates.
I do like Half of You Off My Lawn. I do like that.
Thanos is an old man.
Yeah, Half of You Off My Lawn.
Okay, change approved.
Because we already did one. Didn't we already title one something about Get Off My Lawn?
Yeah, now we're doing Half of You Off My Lawn.
Half of You Off My Lawn.
Change approved. Goodbye.
You've been listening to Hobie.